connecting you now. Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Blog Talk Radio.
Right?
Yeah, put it on mute, please. On mute for me, please.
721 the Assyrian king, he took us down, we fell. With a great escape we went to the Euphrates. The Lord held the water still. To a land where no mankind dwelt, we went. The 12 tribes of Israel. We see, Manasseh, the Cubans, East from Puerto Rico, and Valley from the heart of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel. From Panama, yeah, the North American Indians, Libya, Dominican, the highest gathering is Israel. The Arabs and Africans told us, together our wives and children sold us. In the belly of these great ships we traveled and fled. By the rivers of Babylon we found our brothers here. A high gatherer in Colombia, moving from Australia. It's across the Mexicans. A high gathering and Eagles living in the Western Levi, the Haitians. A high gathering in
You see this?
Moving from Australia, it's across the Mexicans. That's who we see children.
You know what it is? I need that power. The power cord. In that, in my bag, yeah. Yep. No, in there. Yes. Plug that in. Something's good. Got it? That's that. Ready. All right, folks. All right. Let's see. Okay, studio, right? It's working now. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. How are you doing, my brothers and sisters? This is Elder Rick Archiar, along with the rest of the elders of the Gathering of Christ Church. Yes, we have a special so-called New Year's Day special for you all. All praises be to the Most High. How you doing, lawyer?
I'm doing well. Can't complain.
What about you?
Doing fine, doing fine. All praise.
And Gaja, what you doing over there?
I'm here, man. I'm good, blessed by the best, man. Ready to go.
All right. I hope y'all ready. I'm getting ramped up right now. Getting ramped up. Let me cut this thing on here so everyone can hear this. One moment here. Okay, I guess we're not going to use that either. I'm sorry, lawyer. Stuff all over the place here. I apologize. All right, here we go. Here we go, brothers and sisters. So-called New Year's. So-called New Year's. All praises be to the Most High. I'm Elder Rick Archiar. I know you all going to want to call in for this particular broadcast. Well, they're going to be here for a couple of hours today. But just like we did last week with the Christmas special, we're going to do a New Year's special. Now, of course, I didn't bring no props with me like last week. Who all knew the outcome of that tree before the broadcast ended? Who all knew how that would turn out? The tree started out, they was like, oh, Elder Ricard, is he going off? What's going on? Who didn't know that tree by the end of the show wouldn't ascend and descend into the nearest garbage pail? But anyway, I digress, okay? As you come in, hit the like button because you definitely want to be a part of our 2019 recap. Our 2019 recap. So I'm trying to get it ramped up. I'm trying to make sure, the numbers come in so that our brothers and sisters don't miss this. So you all know that through this algorithm thing with YouTube, they do it now where if you don't hit the like button, it won't trend to let others know we're broadcasting. And now it's high censorship out there. The main networks don't have to go through that. They automatically preferred when you come on. They brought in, you know what I mean? They're grandfathered in through the old YouTube rules, while the people who have actually made YouTube what it is are now censored. So do me a favor, make sure you hit the like button, 515-605-9327. Hit the like button, please. We have 500 something people in here. Please hit it so that people can trend, so I can jump right in, because we're not going backward here. We're not going backward, okay? So while you're hitting that, check this out. The Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited. That's right, brothers and sisters. You are invited because we're only going into week 3 of this Hebrew and Bible Academy. And if you're not in it, you're missing out, folks. This has been one of the more profound academies we've had to date, believe it or not. I mean, I know each time we come in with a new one, you hear us say that because there's never the same academy. It's never the same lesson, regardless of what it's titled. We've already went into the creation of the universe, and we started off with week 1, Elder Lawyer, just dealing with the heavenly celestial, of how everything was created. And you see these so-called mystery history programs asking, are we alone? Are we alone? What are you talking about? They were here first. Are we alone? Who's the they? The gods. Gods are elves or angels. It's only a mystery within this new world of confusion that was made through the Western world. All the ancient civilizations understood the term of gods, that they are synonymous with angels, the celestial realm that was created before earth. So when man was made, there were people here. That's right. Not just people. I would say not people, but beings that was trapped in that congealed ball of ice. So when they talk about the mystery of Antarctica and how there's mysterious technology there, well, guess what? They were in the ice before the water subsided. There's so much information we go into in the academy. That was first week. Second week, we went into the fall of the gods. How did they fall? Speaking of the angels that fell. And like Christ said, as in the days of Noah, then shall the coming of the Son of Man be. And we also show forth some precepts to why the Catholic Church wanted to hide those sons of God and make us believe that those sons of God was the sons of Seth dealing with the daughters of Cain. Why? Because the Catholic Church are burning candles and are worshiping the original gods that fell in the first 1,000 years of creation. All of this was broken down in the academy. And now we're going into this week, you got it, the promised seed. And I don't think it's no coincidence that now the Israelites are becoming a household name.
Or the black Israelites.
Well, what I'm just saying, if they were going to talk about the awakening and our people being Israel, they would do it this way.
Yeah.
They would have done it this way, like we calculated and told you according to scriptures, because the Western societies under Satan, they never do anything different, right? It's the same program over and over again, right? Now, jumping right in, without any further ado, 515-605-9327. Before I jump in, because people are still ticking in and they're coming into the broadcast, I just want to ask the elders, even though we know the real year starts in February, okay, Purim is in February, where we're given gifts according to the Most High and not according to the pagan Babylonian calendar of this satanic world, right? So if you want to know the correct date of the new year, just go to gatheringofchrist.org and just click on the calendar. You'll see the new year right there. There's nothing new in the dead of winter, okay? But we're just doing this just for the sake of understanding for brothers and sisters who didn't come to that knowledge as of yet. You definitely want to come in for this. 515-605-9327. And I just want to just relay it to the elders. What have you seen this year in particular that pops out? That pops out with Elder Lawyer. Just pops out at you. All this time we've been in this. If you had to point out one thing, what have stood out this year for you, this so-called year of 2019?
I would have to say the fact that, as you mentioned, black Israelites, if you will, are now becoming, we're getting the media, well, Israelites in general are getting the media attention that for years, as we mentioned before, has been a media blackout. That was kind of shocking to me, the way that they would bring it out. The time period that they brought it out, I thought maybe there would be a little bit more time that would kind of give a little bit more rope, but now the way that they're putting it out there, I'm kind of shocked at that. But there were so many different things that happened this year. It's a blur almost.
So you're saying that 2019 is the year of the black Israelites? That's
Yeah, they waited for the last quarter.
Yeah.
Right.
Really the last 3 months, knowing that it's really the children of Israel, God's word, and the preachers that are preaching the truth that is putting a dent in their fiscal quarter, which is really, you have to realize the fiscal year rounds off in the last 3 months leading up to Christmas. So really it's about the bottom line.
Yeah.
Because because Israelites are on every corner, they're in front of every high place of commerce, in front of every so-called mall. So it's interrupting their finances. So what better time than now to say, a market or whatever. And it's to a degree, man, I don't even pay much attention to it, because it's getting fantasy. It's going into the land of fantasy at this point. I don't want to make too much of it.
Yeah.
It's to a degree where if a couple that's black, if they black people from Harlem or Brooklyn, and they go into a supermarket and happen to walk down an aisle and buy some kosher salt,
Yeah.
right? There's a link between them and black Israelites, because how would they know about kosher salt unless they was radicalized through Facebook?
Right.
It's that nonsensical now. What are black people doing walking down kosher aisles? They've been radicalized.
Right.
But I'm gonna leave that here because I don't even want to deal with that. Mainstream media gonna do what they do. You can believe what you see on TV if you want, okay? But anyway, Gaja, what have stood out for you, Gabar? What have stood out for
Something
you?
the lawyer mentioned. This is the year that we first started. Where I think the farthest one I can remember is when that lady, that sister in England. They blamed that.
Yeah.
They blamed, what else they blamed on us? Global warming. I don't know. I mean, this is the year of blaming the Israelites for everything.
Right.
You press like on on a statement on YouTube or something.
Yeah.
That's a tie for the Israelite. Everything
Right.
you do, six degrees of separation, Israelite. So we're to blame for everything.
Yeah,
Trump,
it's
it's
this
our
thing.
fault.
It's this thing, Elder Gabar, where, and I have some stats coming up to prove that since the awakening has begun, there's less crime in major cities. There's a lot of less crime, less people are getting incarcerated and all that. And I think that's the Most High has a spirit out there of not just awakening our people,
Yeah.
but now our people know that the old way of doing things isn't working anymore.
Yeah.
And and our people are starting to have a sense of civility and family that's overlooked in the community. The community's changing. And I think it's due to a lot of our family members that are passing over now. And it's really bringing our mortality
Yeah.
to light. You understand? A lot of the youth now are looking at it and saying, I got to change my life. And the only viable option is to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments. So I think it's a direct correlation with the truth coming, the fact we're finding out who we are, and all the major cities, the crimes are going down. So I don't understand why they're trying to fantasize this and make this thing out to be. But I want to go on that because I'm tired of that. Because the sorcerers or the wizards through media look to steer the narrative or the conversation. I'm going to go in a entirely different direction right now. But Elder Gaja, you're overseas right now. Let me pull Elder Gaja in. And tell us, what is the one thing that stood out for you this year, Gaja?
One thing that stood out for me. Wow. I mean, there's many things, but the one major thing, I guess probably is the same thing that everyone is noticing, is the awakening. The awakening is getting, it's far wider than I've ever seen it before. Meaning that, everybody knows about Israelites, and you even people we've been speaking to that you would think never heard of Israel, know about Israel, and it's having an impact. I guess that's probably one of the main things with 2019. Also, with that said, on the opposite side of it, you see, this year probably for me, the so-called year, has been probably one of the hardest for me spiritually in my walk. Trying to keep sanity, because it something has definitely ramped up. You with me? It has. They have ramped it up. You with me? Whatever they were doing, either pumping the atmosphere, pumping the water, whatever they did, whatever they're doing, it's gone up. You understand? I remember on when we did the fast for the Day of Atonement. You fast for one day, but it was hard. Like normally fasting for a day isn't hard, but I noticed that this year when we did atonement, for me anyways, it was trying. You with me? And it's funny you asked that, Ella, because this morning I was looking at some notifications, some news. America sent troops over to Iran, into Iraq. There's a little austerity going on right now in Iran when they burnt down at the embassy, and there's talks of war. You with me? And we know that, you know, we're looking at a Republican government that the last 3 Republican presidents went to war. So we see the war coming on the horizon, and we know what's about to happen. And then we see the austerity now, or the Israelites in the media, and what they're trying to portray Israelites to be within the media. So everything is a direct correlation. You with me? There's no coincidence going on. And I was actually looking and speaking about that this morning. You with me? So like I said, a few things stand out for me, but you know, that's probably on top of the list.
Okay.
You know.
All right. Well, of course, we're going to ask brothers and sisters out there some of the same questions, but let's jump right in. We have almost 1,000 people in with us right now, and please, if you just come in, you didn't hear the announcement earlier, hit the like button so that we can trend and get into this conversation, because man, hey, this is the way you end the so-called year. Well, you know, it's not a new year, but anyway, this is the way you begin a year, with truth. And just like we did last holiday, you know, since they're trying to bombard and get in our way with this satanic Babylonian time, what better way than in the midst of it, not waiting until they relish in their games and food, in the midst of their regalia, the Gathering of Christ Church is bringing some insight and bringing some truth into this earth, injecting righteousness against the wicked tide. Now, let me say this real quick, right? Because, yes, for the last quarter, you've been hearing all these news reports where they're looking to, and you have to watch this when people say they're linking this person to Israelites and linking that person. Who's linking? And what are they using to link it? So when you hear that, understand, folks, is what we said last. I mean, I said this in 2009, 2010, and I hate to keep saying this, but I said it before. We have to watch how casual we are online, just favoriting anything, linking up with people we don't know online, who the government probably have out there and all that, who going to they'll radicalize these people, know that they're on psychotropics and all this, and they'll give these people a Facebook page, okay? And it's not even them operating the Facebook page. It'll be some nefarious institution controlling that page, getting friends and all that with people from different groups on purpose, putting out some points that they know you'll agree with, and now by default, here it is, you're an innocent person, not even thinking about doing anything but following God's law. Now today you're linked to a terrorist through Facebook or through social media. So you have to be careful, folks. You notice, that's why you notice on our YouTube pages, I do this specifically. I don't subscribe to no one, even if I agree with some of what other groups teach and all that, right? I don't subscribe to no other group. I rarely favorite what another group is talking about, because I know by default, by them criminalizing, they're going to try to throw some stuff on us by default. And eventually it's going to happen anyway. But why not walk circumspect, like Christ said, wise as serpents, harmless as doves. So be careful. You're thinking, oh, I'm an Israelite, I'm all happy. What is this Israelite group saying? What they saying? And you linking into all these different groups, not realizing some of these groups are online, not the personal people, but the government are now making COINTELPRO types of groups and all that. If they can make a movie demonizing or making fun of Israelites, they can actually make a page with people that are financed through their system. So yeah, be careful who you favorite out there. That's all I have to say. And who you are in ties with, because these ambiguous links are what they're going to use, to actually throw some shade on a lot of our people, right? Now, let me jump right in, right? 515-605-9327. Now, 2019 recap. A year in infamy. And what can we expect for 2020? And I think Gaja just, he touched on something. But anyway, This is what I've seen. The poor and underprivileged are now living between the racially biased media's crosshairs. This year, we've witnessed, just in this year alone, 2019, the downfall of our stars like Bill Cosby, the defamation of our famed deceased like Michael Jackson. We've seen media hit pieces and documentaries aimed towards the likes of R. Kelly, leading to powerful companies allegedly targeting his vast multi-billion-dollar music catalog. We've seen the likes of Dame Dash on different online platforms and others who stood up firm, outing those who Dame Dash deemed culture vultures. Even from Dave Chappelle, bringing awareness to liberal insanity. Also, this year we've seen the black community standing now for tangibles, right? From a compromised Democratic Party. No longer are our people standing up saying, I'm just going to pull the lever and I'm just going to vote down Democrat and hope it works for me. Blacks and other people that are underprivileged, you see the system have never worked for them, are now saying, unless you can tell me what you're going to actually do, I'll keep my vote and let this thing do what it's going to do. Okay? Because why? A bird cannot fly without two wings. Right? So if we don't participate, and I'm glad the Most High is calling our people out of that and rationalizing things now and saying, if you're not doing something for me and I just seen out of nowhere you did something for the alphabet people, we don't want to be a part of this no more. So tell us what specifically you're going to do for us, and not us voting just to make sure Donald Trump is not president, because he's no different than anyone else they put in there. So our people are waking up. And that's one thing that I've seen within the year. And I think it's God, it's the Most High, it's Christ from on high, really awakening our people from the controlled media's sorcery and programming. Now, those are the negatives, some of the negatives, just highlighting what the media was putting out there. But there were positives this year, right? And we've covered this, like Kendrick Lamar and other prestigious artists who has had a positive impact on our youth, who stood up and proclaimed the importance of their rich, proud heritage being the sons of Jacob, according to the Bible, according to God, the children of Israel. Now we have influential examples out there, opposed to the thug example, that are leading our people into spiritual consciousness outside of the buffoonery that have overtaken hip hop. And that must be commended to some degree. We have, again, the likes of Kendrick Lamar and other prestigious artists who has had a positive impact on our youth, who stood up and proclaimed the importance of their rich, proud heritage of being of the sons of Jacob. That's resonating in our communities right now. I mean, I went down to North Philly. I went to see my mother this morning, and I'm going to tell you, man, it's resonating. It's resonating. I mean, my whole household is like, I mean, my mother, keep in mind, my mother didn't accept this at first. None of my brothers, none of my family accepted it first. I mean, I went to pick up something for my mother's, knowing that I had to get here. And man, a brother I never seen before in North Philadelphia seen me going into a CVS to grab some, I had to grab some things for my mother. Yeah. And a guy seen me and said, "You look like Elder Ricard Shiar." And I'm like, "How you doing, brother? I am Elder Ricard Shiar." He says, "Man, I mean, I don't know whether to hug you. I don't know whether to," he says, "Man, y'all have helped change my life." Out of nowhere. He says, man, you know, I mean, where your church at? And this is random. This is random in the streets of North Philadelphia. Now, I would rather that brother reach out and say that he want to get what he want to get and learn the knowledge of the Most High, opposed to the options in our community of harming our families. And see, these are the things that are not spoken about. And like last week, this is how you end the year. A pastor inviting Elder Lawyer, you and I, into the church, saying that now that there's no people attending our churches anymore, eventually the real estate people and the vultures are going to come in and take the real estate. They're taking the real estate from all the pastors, and the black pastors who once didn't have any seats in their church. They have to now rent space to 2 to 3 other congregations of pastors just to keep the door open. Just to keep the door open. And he's like, man, listen, I would rather, he says, Elder Ricard, I believe this is end time prophecy. You come in and you help me. You tell me what I need to do here, you know, and my doors are open. Whatever you would like to do to help this community, let's talk about it. He says, but please, I need you. It's my 20-year anniversary, and I wish you would come and bring a word of what's going on in the earth. And that's why Elder Lawyer and myself went there, along with some of the church we think we have a beautiful body, a beautiful family here that came and supported this brother's work in North Philly. And it's like a bomb had been dropped on the outside of that community. And now all that area is being regentrified, and they're coming in with the all black, buying out churches, pennies on the dollar. They knew through the prosperity movement they would bankrupt the churches in our communities, giving our children no viable option like we had during the civil rights movement. Keep in mind, it was the black church which was the foundation, of our communities at one point. They dictated everything because we knew that we couldn't outright trust the government. The government was organizing KKK against us. They were hanging us or whatever the case is. So we had to consolidate and rally with each other and pray together to our God for some level of refuge from the vultures, so to speak. Let me put it that way. But now, Kendrick Lamar, another prestigious artist who has had a positive impact on our youth, stood up and proclaimed the importance of us knowing that we are the children of Israel, which has had a positive influence on our youth. It has. Crime has gone down, and I have some statistics to show you all. In the major cities right now, crime is down. Incarceration numbers are dwindling, and you know the powers that be don't want that. They break the law. The law is done away with so that we can pack the jail. They rather you teach in the churches the law is done away with so that now they can get new criminals, in their conclaves, in their prisons.
A slave by a new name.
Yeah. Crime has gone down, incarceration numbers are dwindling, and above all, Christ's light and grace is showing a path through our impoverished communities. There's hope for us because Christ is showing us a light back to our Bible. We tried Islam, it didn't work. The Arabs came in and bored up and regentrified and took all of our financial our finances that used to circulate in our communities to embolden and to actually prop up their own people. The Asians and the other nations came in. And I'm not just talking on a financial, from a financial standpoint. These people come in our communities with a religion. They've been praying against us. Not just P-R-A-E-Y, P-R-A-Y. Okay? Let me tell you, they've been casting serious spells against our people in the communities. You have to realize it's a spiritual warfare. So when they come in our communities, it's not just about the mighty dollar, it's about capturing souls.
That's right.
It's the high magic that comes with Islam. It's the high magic that comes with the Babylonians to keep the children of Israel in servitude. And I believe Christ has shone a light to bring us back to that Bible, to embolden us, to give us back that courage to withstand their sorcery. And the positives should be magnified through the darkness. Okay, the Luciferians would like us to look at their news and look at their reports and now make talking points based on their propaganda. When they're not bringing it, they're not the ones shaping the narrative. God is. The God of our Bible is shaping the narrative. So even though they're going to do their trickery or whatever and try to demonize, we're not going to make our shows about that and our talking points about that. We're going to talk about the positives that come with our people realizing that we are the children of Israel and continue to proclaim the truth and bring forth this word throughout the four corners of the earth before the end. One moment here. $515-605-9327. So, 2019, a lot has happened. Okay, 515-605-9327. Now, I want to show you all a few things, but before I open some of those things up, I want to hear from our audience, those who have always supported our church, who have always been with us in this fight with Christ, okay, against the adversary. Call in and let me know this year, what has impacted you? What have you gone through this year? Not just the negative stuff, but the positive stuff. What do we have to look forward to? I'm going to leave that part, what we have to look forward to, for the end of the program. And you know what I'm looking forward to? I'm looking forward to this lesson, The Promised Seed, this Sunday. I'm going to tell you that right now, because we're going into how the other nations look to take that promise. That promise that was given through Christ in the Bible is everything, folks. And they made us believe that the promises of Abraham was us getting a few bucks or getting a car or a house, while the other people who are claiming to be us are over there fighting in the east to proclaim a promise that belongs to the children of Israel in darkness. We're going to talk about that this coming Sunday. But anyway, 515-605-9327, a recap, a year in infamy. And I've just pointed out a few things that stood out for me. Maybe you all can tell us what this so-called year meant for you and what you can highlight for this year through this awakening, or while a part of this awakening. What have stood out for you this year? 515-605-9327. And guess what? I have some stuff I want to go into, but let me hear from my folk first. 785 area code, 270 area code, then 504 area code. So let's start with the 785 area code. And you know what? Oh yeah. I gotta apologize for that. Yeah, I said the new year falls in February. That's the last month of the year. Okay, the new year starts in March. I was really just intertwining two separate things, with Purim being the 12th month, which is February. The new year starts in March. I apologize. I got so many bullet points in front of me. Of course, the springtime is the new year. I got that. I was intertwining two separate points. So you're right. The new year is in March. I apologize. I was dealing with this Christmas thing, this New Year's thing, and I got that intertwined because I wanted to speak about Purim. But I'm going to go there in a moment. One moment. All right. Someone says here, I like Elder Ricard music album coming out and GOCC waking up the Christian church live with the pastors. Good point. And that came from Sharona for Ahaya. Okay, what else here? Yes, Elder, the mic is cracking and popping a bit. Let me see. They say the mic is cracking and popping. Okay, I'm going to turn it down just a little. One moment. Okay. Okay, that should be a little better. I turned the volume down, okay? All right. Let's see. Someone says, there's Cam Jen says there's a tax sevenfold because of the truth. That's deep in itself. They say there's a tax sevenfold because of the truth. Someone says, please do a video on the law of attraction. You talking about the magic of sorcery.
The secret so-called.
The secret. The secret is you letting a demon up in your house. Right, talking about the law of attraction.
Right.
Don't you know the Bible talks about, common sense will tell you, the law of attraction, familiar spirit. Mm-hmm. What are you attracting? A familiar spirit.
That's right.
So listen, okay, someone says it's too low now. Give me a break. Lord have mercy. Are we too low now? Yes?
I guess we could ask everybody to press
right?
1.
If we're too low, tell me. Tell me if I'm too low. All right.
Okay, yes. I hear no. I hear it's
Someone
fine.
says it's nice. All right.
I hear no.
I'll tell you what.
It's not too low, no.
All right, don't worry about it. I just turned it up just a little because we're diving in. We're diving in now.
Yes.
All right, this should be fine. This should be fine. All right. 515-605-9327. As you can see, there have been a rash of so-called attacks where the media is now linking everything in their mama to Israelites. It's like there's no black person doing crime right now in the United States that isn't linked to an Israelite.
Right.
So, I mean, it's too many stories to cover. I mean, give me a break. What we can look forward to with that, though, is new executive orders being signed and new laws being signed as far as who can actually say anything online and what can you say. And that's why I thank the Most High that this ministry was strictly about teaching Christ and not basing a ministry or a movement on how one individual or how some leader feels about another race of people. Mm-hmm. Okay, that particular ideology cannot sustain. Okay, you have to teach the Bible. Mm-hmm. Teach the Bible. Let the Bible be the end. Listen, even Paul says, have I become your enemy because I tell you the truth? Mm-hmm. Okay, Paul wasn't teaching his doctrine. He was teaching Christ's. He was reading the word. So the whole thing is, let the word speak for you. And let's stop pointing individuals out as if our houses are totally clean. Pointing the finger, this, that, and the other, this. No, teach Christ in repentance. Teach the truth about the principalities and powers that rule this earth. And let Christ identify the vagrants. Right?
He's going to define it.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So, brothers and sisters, just stay on point here. Stay on point. But I digress on that. Let's go with 785 area code. A recap. 785 area code.
Hello?
Shalom, you're live with the gathering of...
Hello, you're live.
Yeah, Shalom, you're live with the gathering of Christ Church.
Yes, Elder. How you doing today?
Oh, yeah, I'm blessed by the Most High, brother. How are you?
I'm okay. I was calling in to ask you if me and my mother can get baptized. I'm in Manhattan, Kansas, and there's no GOCC church out here.
Well, absolutely you can get baptized, brother. How long have you been following the church? Can you write that down for me, Elder Lawyer?
About About 3 years.
Okay, all praises be to the Most High. All praises be to the Most High. And now, of course, the elder will reach out to you and let you know, according to the Bible, what all that entails. Okay, as far as going over the word, having you understand that what this means is you being born again, putting down your sin against God's law, and walking in newness of spirit. Okay, because we have to be careful, because right after the baptism, there's temptation, where Satan is trying to drag us back back into the vomit that we've come accustomed to. So what I'll do is, we have your name here, brother. What's your name again?
Okay.
Give me your name. Tyrone?
Tyrell.
Terrell, okay. And you said
Tyrell.
okay, great, brother. We'll definitely accommodate you. Lawyer is writing it down now. And you said it's you and your mother? You and your mother looking to be baptized?
Yes.
How old is your mother?
Yes. 53.
Ain't that something? Praise the Most High. Praise the Most High. Now, there's a lot of negative stuff out there, people putting out there. I don't even want to deal with that. You're a random person. I've never spoken with you before, right?
You've spoken to me before.
No, I'm saying when I say spoken to you before, I've never spoken to you to say, call on here, this is what we're going to talk about, right? The last time you called into the radio show before, and that's when you spoke to me, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm going to ask you, what have been this awakenings? What impact has it had on you? Who were you before you found the word of knowing your Israel and the truth of this Bible? And how has it helped you? How has it impacted your life?
Well, I obey God's commandments. I don't listen. I mean, I don't celebrate holidays. You know, I'm into the holy days and, you know, the Passover lamb and, you know, not eating pork and things like that.
Good. Now that's just I would say the ceremonial part of it, but part is civility and morality part, as far as knowing how to treat other people. Have that had an impact on you? And going into the Bible, understanding how you must civilly walk with this law.
Right. Treat people how you want to be treated, staying away from fornication and things like that.
Praise the Most High. Praise the Most High. Okay. All right. Thank you, brother. And I have Elder Lawyer writing it down, and we'll have someone reach you by tomorrow. Is that okay?
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Okay. Bless you, brother.
All right. God bless you.
Bless you. 270 area code. 270 area code.
Shalom, elders.
Shalom. How are you?
Shalom.
Good. How are you all? One thing I do want to say that real quick about algorithms. I was awakened in April and baptized in October. So before I was baptized, I did notice that I used to be able to type into the search bar on YouTube, GOCC, and say I'm looking for scriptures about patience or something like that. I used to be able to type in GOCC patience or GOCC diligence, and you know, you all's videos used to pop up. Now I type in GOCC, it'll be a bunch of other garbage, and then I have to keep looking for you all's videos. So they definitely are messing with the algorithms on YouTube.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed that. You're not the first person who said that, but go on.
Oh, and how it's changed me since I've been awakened and baptized, I will say that a lot of, for example, say I was one of Cardi B's minions.
Oh my goodness! Oh God, no! Now you must expound on what's a Cardi B minion.
Okay, so I was just one of those girls that followed her and did what she did, and you know.
Lord have mercy.
And a little, you know. So now I would say that since I've been baptized and, you know, following you all and, you know, following my deacons, I honestly forgot a lot of the things that are of the world. Like, for example, I remember someone recently came and asked me a lot about, you know, you've heard of Cardi B did this, or have you heard of that? When one time I was trying to remember her husband's name, and there's a lot of, you know, the Most High really renews your mind and allows you to forget stuff that you used to remember or think about, or that's of the world. He really does change your mind to where I honestly couldn't even remember some of her songs, or I'm just using her as an example. Like, I honestly just forgot. I just can't remember a lot of the things of the world. And speaking of, like, people really do notice, like, for example, when I came back to work and, you know, I wear a t-shirt and like a skirt now when I go to work. Like, oh, that's another thing. You know, I dress better, more modesty. And so, you know, two people at work would ask me, hey, are you a Hebrew? Are you a Hebrew? Are you an Israelite? And I was so surprised, but I said, yeah. And a lot of people do know of GOCC and heard of the Elder Ricard and people young, so my age.
How old are you?
So
26 years old. Sister, what is your name? I didn't mean to interrupt you, but what is your name?
My name is Desiree.
Desiree, because this is what the media is trying to portray right now. They're trying to put it out there that finding out that you are a child of God and doing what's right according to the Bible and knowing that you are an Israelite according to the word. Now, this doesn't apply to any other ethnicity, right? Where a woman that's born Jewish, if something happens on earth, it's related to the religion she followed or the family she was born into, right? If someone did something wrong, it's related to her and her religion. That only happens amongst us. Because the media would have us believe that if a black woman found out she's an Israelite, according to the Bible, and I have some proof today to prove that even the slaves knew coming off the boat that they were Israelites, that if you were to take hold of your rich nationality, that it would mean you're dying, or someone's going to kill you, or you're going to be found in a ditch somewhere. But I would love to hear the media say, well, here was a sister, 26 years old, who found Christ, who knew she was an Israelite, who put down Cardi B and not speaking nasty words and all those things, and have more respect for her body, not being sexualized like a slave, but walking in high virtue as a daughter of Zion. What I'm hearing is what I hear all the time concerning sisters who have changed their lives. They're not dressing slutty anymore. They care more so about how they're viewed, not just by man, but how God sees them. Sister, I thank you for this testimony. And you know, because I'm glad you're bringing this out, because I'm hearing this organically everywhere I go, that sisters are taking more pride in themselves and are not, you know, they're not accepting how this media would like to portray them as just objects or someone who can be just sexualized for master's bed, or out there getting popular through harlotry. Now, when we were like that, now you notice there's nothing negative that they bring out about Cardi B.
Right.
They roll her out because they what? Why they do it? They know sisters like this are going to begin to mimic it. Go ahead, sister. That's the last piece. What's your name again?
My name is Desiree.
Okay, Desiree.
I will also say, elders, that as the young ladies who are, you know, starting to change too, they're also ramping up what they do. For example, I work at Amazon, and they always get, you know, have committees, you know, and they came up with this new committee called Glamazon, and the logo is a rainbow logo, you know, the letter people. And for the first time, I've been working here for a couple years, and for the first time I experienced a letter person coming into our women's bathroom, and it was awkward. But of course,
you say a letter person. Are you talking about Are you saying a full-fledged dude came into a woman's bathroom?
a full-fledged dude with purple hair and short shorts came into our bathroom
With poom poom shorts on.
with poom poom, yes sir, with poom poom shorts on.
Lord have mercy.
And they don't even say anything like when they wear short shorts either. Like they do wear like leggings under them, but if someone like us came and worked like that, you know, it would be something. But I'm not saying we should. I'm just saying as we ramp up, as Israelites taking a stand on who we are, they ramp up on the contrary.
I'll tell you, Lord have mercy. And it's deep because if you were to go into work like that, to show you the political protection they have. Like, how dare you say anything about what I have on right now? I mean, whatever is going on, purple hair, a pair of what growing up that we call them Daisy Dukes, just straight.
That's what he had on. Daisy
Straight the characters from the inside of the prison that was the cheerleaders for in the longest yard. Now they getting full political protection. If a sister was to go dressed like that, I bet you any amount of money Human Resources will have them in the office within the first 15, 20 minutes. Sister, I'm glad you brought that out. Sister, guess what? Always persevere. The road, I'm gonna tell you, I'm saying it right out. The road in this truth doesn't get easier. And I'm gonna talk about that. It doesn't get easier here. So the Bible tells us in Ezekiel 3 about, and I'm gonna place you on hold, about how when we eat that roll, which is the Bible, and our mouth is sweet. But the reality of what we've actually come to, this light, I'm going to tell you, the reality of what we've awakened to, when it gets in the belly, it'll become bitter. Okay? Because let me tell you, the government powers in this earth who have conspired against us for ages have ramped up the whole earth in preparation for this moment when God's people would begin to understand who they are. And the key thing they were looking for is not black people claiming to be Christians or black people claiming to be Muslims. They were looking for organically, outside of their construct, people in our communities who would begin to take stake into understanding that we are the physical people of that Bible. I'm gonna tell you, they've been waiting for this moment a long time. Okay. And have ramped up against it. I'm going to talk about that on another program. But 504 area code. It's good to hear the youth. Doesn't matter how it's the youth. I'm talking about the teenagers. I'm talking about the young adults. Even the elderly are coming to this knowledge of the truth and saying, I knew we were the people. Even elderly people are saying, you know what? That's the only thing that makes sense. I used to wonder why our people are treated differently than everyone else. And how it doesn't matter how righteous we try to be or attempt to be, we end up on the bottom. How every other people are catapulted or moved, just are inherently born in society with a silver spoon, and we have to struggle and fight for everything. This elderly woman I was talking to said, I knew we were the children of Israel. She says, when I heard y'all, she said, I went to my computer, you and that other elder, that deep voice guy popped up, and the Spirit said, listen to these young men. I hear testimonies. Sometimes when I'm just driving in the car, I just keep my phone up and the calls just coming in from random people all over the world with the same testimony. That's the Spirit of the Almighty. 504 area code.
Hey, Shalom, elders and family.
Shalom, how are you?
Yeah. I just want to start off, I got a little bit of negative, but I want to start off with the positive. First saying, you know, GOCC has been on point with prophecy according to the Bible every step of the way. I mean, the first time I came across this truth, my brother had exposed me to it, and I sat down, watched one of y'all videos. I was hooked ever since. I mean, it's just straight from the scripture. word for word, straight from the scriptures. It's like you already know what's going to happen next. You're just waiting to see it play out. Because according to the Bible, I mean, prophecy's right on point. But yeah, so yesterday I just was released from the hospital. Just had a brand new baby girl. Yeah,
Congratulations.
so beautiful. And yeah, thank you, Elder. And it was just trying to keep us there in the hospital. It was like it was so nice and perfect. But as soon as we started declining all of their devices, you know, with the radiations and all that stuff, and the different vaccines, it was just the horns just started showing. It was like we just couldn't do anything right, and they didn't want to let us go. They didn't want to bring my wife lunch. They didn't care about asking her how she was doing. They didn't care about the baby's vitals any longer. It's like night and day.
Hold up. So what you're saying in a nutshell? Let me have your name first, so that we can put this out there for everyone. What's your name?
Ashton.
Ashton?
Ashton.
Okay, so Ashton, what you're saying is everything was fine in the hospital. They had a problem with you having a baby like people have been having babies since the beginning of time. Where, believe it or not, the original, back in the day, the midwives would just wait for the baby to come and sit up under a stool, and the baby would come itself. So we're here, let me tell you, we were born in slavery and all that without all these elaborate palaces they call hospitals. Lived to see 100 years, over 100 years. So you decide that, no, I want to do what Jesus did. I'm going to use the name they use. I want to come into the earth like everyone else and without any medical intrusion on my life. I don't want your diseases. I don't want you to inject me with anything. So when you look to protect your child from foreign diseases that they may inject in your child, you and your wife became public enemy number one, and they no longer cared for your child?
Exactly. Which shines light on the fact that they never cared to begin with.
Exactly. Exactly. Because they cared about this beautiful Israelite baby who just came into the earth. They would have cared for that child.
And it seems like
they would have accepted you and your wife's wishes. But go on.
Exactly. Yeah, it just seems like, and all the ones that came in with the devices that none of them could explain exactly how they work. It's just all of them. They always would come in and say, "Oh, she's so strong" and all that, you know. And then as soon as you decline to have it taken, they're just looking at you like as if you're crazy, and just like as if they have the right to have an attitude with you now because you want more research proven.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. So you didn't say no. You're just exercising your right of informed consent. You're saying, listen, hold off on that. I'll get back with you. That's okay.
Exactly. But they have a problem with that. And one more thing is just like, you know, so even after we declined everything, before they were actually going to allow us to sign the discharge papers, she wanted to go over all the risks associated with everything, you know, and I'm just like, so, you know, you look at the risk associated with not taking the drugs, that's what they are, but they call it medicines, but you won't disclose the risk associated with taking them to me, and you didn't even research the risk associated with them, because it exists. So I'm just like, so you mean to tell me, so you stick to a certain criteria that you won't go outside of? You won't even look into any other research? So I'm just like, so are you saying you have a sort of religious conviction? Because it seems like it's very religious. Seems almost cultish, you know? And so you see, that's how you flip the script on them.
And this is deep. You know what? Hey, brother, this is deep in itself because it seems as if you've learned, and this is what they were afraid of. Negroes that critically think.
To be Christ-like. Exactly. Like
it's like, hold up, Biff. I think we have one who can read.
one could see.
Exactly.
Have he been reading that there Bible? See, it's a whole thing, brother. It's deep that you're bringing these things out, and you're bringing the light, the positive of not understanding what you're seeing online or what you're hearing from other people. For some reason, they believe that they're an insult to our intelligence. I see these other guys who try every video they talking about, they're demonizing Israelites.
Yeah.
And I see how they're talking to people on their platform. When they talk to our people who they try to bring on the cosign their mess, they talk to them like they're 5 or 4-year-old children. They're like, yeah, is a black girl who she ran for her life, and hey, I heard there was a black Israelite with a knife. And it's like someone teaching you your ABCs. And I was checking it out. I'm like, they really believe that there's a demographic of our people who would actually fall for that. The Most High has awakened the lion. We will no longer, we will no longer be victimized through your psychology when you speak like this. And yes, it's absolutely safe. That's psychology. But go ahead, brother. One last point, and we get to the next one real quick.
Oh, okay, yeah. And so yeah, it's deep that, you mentioned how, the Most High have awakened us. And so that's very encouraging right there. It's like, so understanding that the Most High could pull us through out of everything, like the sister with the Cardi B in the last call. That just shows you the Most High, how he can pull you out of any situation, out of dark situation. And so there's no reason to fear these institutions.
Now, one thing I wanted to put up, just the last piece, because we have many calls. When you you found out that according to the Bible, our people are of the children of Israel, correct?
Yes.
And you're convinced based on the prophecies in the Bible, correct?
Correct.
Has anything you read, now you know that you're a child of Israel, has anything you read, brother, from that Bible or from what you've been learning, at any time made you think that you was going to go out and harm any other people with your newfound belief, with this newfound belief? Anything?
The exact opposite.
Say that again?
The exact opposite.
The exact opposite.
Exact opposite, according to the Bible.
Praise the Most High.
Oh, with loving kindness. That's how the whole world is supposed to be treated, and it's up on Israelites to do so. We don't have a choice.
Let me tell you, when I'm amongst the brothers and sisters in the church and we're praising the Most High, I mean, that's at that time on the Sabbath and other days where we're gathering, that's the safest place on earth for me. Okay? That's the safest place on earth. So I'm glad you're bringing that out. I'm glad you brought up some good points, brothers and sisters. And protect that child. That child is important. Okay?
Right. I don't want to make a point or anything. I just want to ask for because they try to threaten you with CPS and everything, which is not afraid at all. But they try to threaten you with even though we do our own research, I just like if anyone inside or outside of the body would have any information on, ways on how to legally combat their system, any kind of help would be nice. And I would also help others in the future.
Okay, well we'll look into that. But the reality is, folks, I'm gonna place you on hold. The reality is sooner or later, another locale will be the only answer. I'm gonna tell you that round. They're ramping up because really you have to look at it. They've already deemed through their depopulation process that there's too many people, and they have opened up the borders where the immigrants have taken all the jobs, and the people that actually had those jobs, they've put under a eugenics process to abort the babies or kill the ones that's left. See, and so the whole thing is, what are we to do about these people who are not complying with death? There's no room for them. There's no food for them. There's no jobs for them. Eventually, these people will revolt and overtake the system if we cannot get them to agree with self-genetic compromise or euthanization altogether. So this is where we're coming, folks. We're coming with these new orders that are coming down. Eventually, it's going to be 70 AD all over again, but I digress. Okay?
No, like what you asked to what the young brother was saying,
Go ahead, answer.
that
Excuse me,
you know, the conversation about, you know, vaccination and things of that nature should be before the child is born with your doctor. You should find out who's the doctor who's going to be given, you know, who's going to assist with the birth of the child. You should have conversation with him or her and have these questions about vaccination, which vaccination, if any, is mandatory, which is they're not, and things of that nature. And can you get the legal documentation to see? Can you talk about the side effects? You know, I need to look into these things. It should be months in advance that you start engaging in these conversations. You don't have to be hostile. You don't have to be in any way, you know, a controversy. But although the controversy is, you know, the question will be controversial anyway.
Exactly.
But be polite, but just say, I just need to know, you know, is it, you know, which law was passed? Can you give me the year? Who passed it? And they're gonna say, well, you know, there is no law. It's mandated. It's recommended. You know, and things of that nature. Or look into, and a lot of people may not know this, that your insurance do cover this, a midwife. That's another option. So start having conversation early. It should not be the day of that your child is being born.
Great point.
They start knowing that you asking these questions.
Yeah.
You know,
Great point.
It's too late. Yeah,
Exactly.
Before.
Great point. And keep in mind, folks, there's a project that the government have had out since the 60s called the Messiah Project. In fear of a Messiah consciousness tainting the slave pool within America, right? And see, that same consciousness is what the Egyptians feared when they put out a decree to kill the firstborn, the male child during the time of Moses. Where there was a decree, even during Christ's time, that was prophesied, where the sea is seen as star in the east, and Herod, an Idumean, an Edomite, governor over Jerusalem, sent the wise men out to get Christ in preparation for killing the child. So ever so often, there's seers and all that. They look into the stars, they're sorcerers, and come to them and say, eventually, there's going to be a mindset or a consciousness in the earth that will shake the foundation of our empire. The foundation is the slave population, because every system, especially a Babylonian system, is built with a slave or on a slave floor. So when you start to awaken the slave population, the foundation crumbles at its base. So they had a project called the Messiah Project to look into certain groups that would actually stimulate our minds or have us look outside of the satanic program and to keep us useful slaves. And guess what? Christ has done it. He has begun the awakening. Now he's saying, listen, the answer is not just you being Israelite or not just you being black. The answer now is to repent. The answer is to come back to God's law. That's Christ who's been doing that. Saying, well, listen, if you love me, you'll do the will of my Father. Stop killing each other. Stop selling drugs to each other. Stop whoremongering. Stop fornicating. Come back to the laws of God and I'll protect you. See, and that's the whole thing. And with that consciousness comes what? The knowledge of your temple. 1 Corinthians 3:16. He says, know ye not that ye are the temple of the Lord? And if you defile your temple, you shall be destroyed. So the temple is your body. So now we've become more conscious concerning what we intake, what we induce, and what we inject. Because why? We're not cattle. We're God's people. Okay? So now that I have knowledge of the law, moral, civil, dietary, ceremonial, I know the new year starts in March. I know that our holy day is coming up in Purim in February. I have knowledge of my ancient law now. I also have knowledge of what? The dietary law. The clean substance that our God says that he made in the beginning for a clean vessel. So now with that consciousness, with that idea, I can now treat everything that I will soon consume or get injected in me and my child and filter whatever that is through that same law of cleanliness. I'm not saying that your injections are wrong or whatever the case is. I'm sure there's some science to say that it might work. But I'm not cattle. Neither is my child. I'm a child of Israel. And we have laws concerning what we can inject or ingest according to our God. So all I'm saying is, give me the insert with the ingredients, and I'll filter that through God's law. And if it's clean, I will allow it for me. Okay. Now, whoever else you want to deal with, who don't care about what it is and who trust you, hey, that's your deal. But now I'm accountable to my God. I'm accountable to my God concerning that law. That if I defile my temple and don't take care of this body, knowing we only get one, and I trust you, and something happened to me or my child, the wages of sin is death. Okay? If I choose to defy my God, okay, then, that's death. And I fear him more than you. So this is what they feared, folks. Not that some Israelites are going to come out and grab something and do something. There's an Israelite around the corner with some firecrackers and, he's sitting there disturbing the peace. They're not worried about that. What they're more concerned about is the fact that if you know you're Israel, you're accountable to the God that they hate. And on top of that, you are now a person of law and righteousness. And that righteousness shines a light on how dark and evil and perverted this world is. They hate that. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, okay, you're pointing to the substances that are killing the population. You're denying their programming. No program, no slaves. So this is why they came up with what they call the Messiah Project. They knew this day would come. And it has nothing to do with an Israelite group. It has everything to do with the man they hung on the cross. It has everything to do with the Messiah who said that he would begin to awaken the valley of the dry bones. You can try to point it to some fringe group if you want, but they know, their seers know, and their sorcerers know that this awakening is from the heavens. It's the only fix for our problem, to come back to our God. Now we can look at the pharmaceuticals and everything and say, well, listen, I'm not going to trust anything you're giving me. I must filter what you're suggesting through God's law. So if it got pig guts in it, formaldehyde in it, if it got anything unclean in it, it's against my God to ingest it or inject it. I'm a clean person. I'm Israel. That's what they feared. And one other thing I want to pull out. I want to pull out real quick. The crime rates all over the place has been going down since God's people found the truth that they're Israel. And I don't think that's just a coincidence. That crime is going down now, folks. The elite powers are shaking in their boots. They're putting all this money towards hip hop and debauchery and wickedness and foolishness. And our people aren't taking the bait anymore.
Open up jails.
Yeah.
We don't see,
Yeah, so what are they to do with these new jails?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they're passing new laws now that non-violent criminals that would, getting arrested for like an ounce of weed or whatever, the mayor is now, passing some laws to let that go, right? And things of that nature. So the jails are going to really be empty. So the criminal correctional industrial complex is suffering now financially. Yes. Everything is turning. They're quaking in their boots because there's nothing they can do about it. Mm-hmm. And even if they do, and that's why, brothers and sisters, I'm saying, I'm gonna tell y'all this right now because they're censoring us like crazy right now. Y'all better send us y'all email
to gatheringasone@aol.com and say, I want to be put on a database so that if this internet go down as far as YouTube and all that, what you're used to, because they're already starting to cut it off and putting us in some compartmentalized area where we not to be found. And when you see Israelites, the apologists who are Jesuits are popping up, deterring people. It's on purpose. That's government. Folks, I'm going to tell you right now, send us your emails so we can put you in a database so that you can continue to get this information someplace else. All right? We're setting up right now new sites and all that so that you can get the uncensored videos that they know were effective bringing people in the truth. All our effective videos that brought people in, they censored them as hate, even though we're not even talking about other races or nothing.
Yeah.
But it's too concrete, too truth-breaking. It's just too much understanding. So the whole thing is, even the King James video, the truth of King James, we're not talking about other races of people and all that. They censored that video where it cannot be played in the UK or in England. They censored it. So send us your email, gatheringasone@aol.com, and tell us that you would like, here's my email, put me on a database so that if something happened, y'all can send me some information of where you are online.
Yeah.
Okay, so make sure you send it to Gathering-as-One and say database so we can put you on a database with your name and your email in case they start cutting us off of YouTube, okay?
And I think they should also add what, the area, because we there's a lot of areas that we're looking to set up churches.
Yeah.
So we could, maybe
let us know what area you're in so that we can also funnel you into an area to be baptized and link with our churches, because we're going to have a church in every state before this is over, well before this new coming year is over, okay? So send your info. Don't take it for granted and believe that one day you'll wake up and we'll be here. Don't take that for granted, okay? And then, all right, so real quick, moving forward, because we only got about one more hour, let me play this, and then after that, we're jumping right in. One moment. One moment.
Are you tired of harmful chemicals in your toothpaste, such as sodium lauryl sulfate, tricolsan, fluoride, hydrated silica, sugar, preservatives, and more? Well, Exodus is the #1 company in making herbal tooth powder. This revolutionary herbal gum and tooth powder is the only herbal tooth powder with immediate effect within 3 days. It tightens the gum, whitens the teeth, counteract the side effects of chemotherapy burning in the gum tissue, rid the mouth of canker sores, reduces bleeding in the gum, freshens the breath, and restore the gum tissue to health. Exodus, the #1 company in making herbal tooth powder. ExodusGumPowder.com. For more herbal products, visit us at ExodusGumPowder.com.
Oh, yes, Exodus toothpaste, real stuff that won't kill your gums like fluoride. GOCC Network.
That's right.
You see what they
Hello,
fear?
brothers and sisters. This is Dr. Truman. For answers to health problems, please visit the website herbalhealthreview.com.
Go ahead, Truman.
And for answers to health problems, you should go to the website herbalhealthreview.com, and the consultations are free when you phone me up 503-362-5899. Email me, Truman@herbalhealthreview.com. And Skype
herbalhealthreview.com.
Herbalist, our health support group, Discoveries in Health, every Thursday from 3 to 5 Pacific Standard Time, over your telephone, over the computer, your internet, also in Google Hangouts. Please join us.
That's Truman Burst. And it's deep that out of anywhere. That's why they pull it in. Natural herb, homeopathic healings. You can get that through Truman Burst. Go to GOCC Network at gatheringofchrist.org. See that GOCC Network linking with Truman and help get those toxins out of your body. There's metal cleansings and all types of natural ways. Because keep in mind, the attack is on not just on our temple, but on our minds. So if they can put metals like like aluminum and all these things in your body. Those are neural sense blockers where your brain is not functioning. You have to think twice before you say anything because there's like too much Wi-Fi and frequencies in the air, and it really affects how your mind works. Well, this guy even have metal cleansers. So GOCC network, I want to put that out there.
And people should always, every so often, check the network because there's new stuff that always comes.
New stuff all the time.
New brothers
exactly.
And,
exactly.
You know, so and don't think it's only health stuff, which is important. But there's traveling. I've seen real estate. I've seen different things that you may not think will be there. Double check before you. Let's say you want to go on vacation with your spouse. Jake, there's even travel agents.
Exactly.
So, always
brothers and
sisters.
Brothers and sisters. Let me tell you, even Dr. Claude Anderson say that. The money doesn't circulate amongst us at all in our communities, but it tell you like in the Jewish communities, the money circulate 18 times before it gets out of their community.
When the Black Wall Street was the money was circulating 5 years. It didn't
5 years without it going out to anyone on the outside of us. They destroyed Black Wall Street. So this is what we're doing. We say GOCC network. It's low to advertise there, okay, but. It's getting your products out there and it's supporting people. Let me tell you, I have deodorant I bought at the Passover. And it's like this paste, this natural paste in a jar. And it's all natural and it doesn't go bad or anything. Do you know that I haven't bought one stick of deodorant because this little thing like this, just a little paste under my arms and all that, haven't bought one stick of deodorant since the Passover.
Yeah, I get all my soap like Healthy Minds, my toothbrush.
For Healthy Minds.
I haven't used, I told my wife, only use these people for this.
For Healthy Minds. Sister Shirley, that's right. So I just want to go down real quick because I want to thank the brothers and sisters who have been a part of our network for the year, for last year. And we're glad you're with the team, and we only hope that you build with the Gathered Christ Church and the truth of who we are and financially grandizing our work, and we're supporting you now. You're putting something into us, and now we're going to support what you're doing to let people know that, listen, the kingdom is within us. These other nations come in with their idols and their gods and in our communities and just strip all the finances out of our communities. So we're saying, let's have a network to find out if there's products that we can actually use amongst ourselves. And guess what? We have that. So I want to just go over a few. And I want to thank you for being a part of this family. I'm going to go over a few. GOCC Network businesses, January 1st, so-called 2020. First, Ahia's Pure Essentials, natural and organic body care products. HAO Blessed, Holy Anointing Oil, and Biblical Flashcards. That's good for children. Trust Tax Services, businesses, state and individual tax service. Shea & Company Consultant, like the brother asked earlier, professional legal advice from Brother Shapat. Wholesome Publication, business cards, bookmarks, flyers, brochures, posters, banners, magnets, man, he got everything, table covers, and more. Desired Promise, natural products including hair butters, body butters, and scrubs. Sisters be loving those body butters. Lord have mercy. Anyway, but they're good though. Be Something Apparel. Now, mind you, this is our people who understand who they are, going into their natural gifts and are producing. You'll never know that these people exist. Be Something Apparel. Biblical themed designs for men and women. Hands from Ahia. Custom handmade zitzits, which are fringes. 364 Purim, another company. Personalized products such as mugs, mats, home decor, and more. Created Me, original art pieces and handmade jewelry. Look at that. Mabel Spice Kitchen, there you go. Original lamb rub seasonings. Yashra Clothing, Israelite clothing and accessories. Recovering from Autism, a book about one family's journey of hope and healing. He Brain Publishing, Israelite Children's Book Series. You need that, especially with what the letter people are doing in our schools with these new books now. Judah Wear, I have some of that. Custom Apparel Design. Eden Source Consultants. Herbalizing the Future with Body Butters, Herbs, and Spices. Zion. Organic Whipped Shea Butter. Organic Beard Oils. Body Scrubs, and more. And the last but not one, a few more here. Rafi Institute. Handcrafted Jewelry. That's nice. Kaya Jewel. Nickel lead-free jewelry that complements inner beauty. Exodus Herbal Gum and Powder and Tooth Powder. Herbal Gum and Tooth Powder. And guess what? There's even more on the site, folks. And if you have a product and would like others to know about it, we're here for you. Send an email to gatheringas1@AOL.com to be a part of our GOCC network. Go to gatheringofchrist.org. Why? Because the kingdom of heaven cometh not by observation. The kingdom has always been within us. Every empire was built by us.
And also, Elder, let me add.
Yeah.
Now,
come on.
Though I know that people have been waiting for a long time, been asking me, I Am Apparel would do T-shirts for other T-shirt companies.
Yes.
Now we have that, the ability to do that. We have the machine. We could make it happen. So if you have a T-shirt company and you want I Am Apparel to do it for you, okay, just send it an email at iamapparelgabar@gmail.com. Send me an email. Let's talk about what are you paying for your shirts, and we can maybe match those prices and even do better than the competition. And then so give me a call or send me an email at iamapparelgabar@gmail.com.
Okay, and now I'm going to jump right in. We got about 40 more minutes. Yes, jumping right in. All praises be to the Most High. For those who've just come in, let me give you the recap. 2019 recap, a year in infamy. What can we expect for 2020? Right? The poor and underprivileged are now living between the racially biased media's crosshairs. This year, you've noticed that we've witnessed the downfall of our stars in our communities, like Bill Cosby, the defamation of our famed deceased, like Michael Jackson, hit pieces and documentaries aimed towards the likes of R. Kelly, leading to powerful companies allegedly targeting his vast multi-billion-dollar music catalog. Even Dame Dash and others stood up firm, outing people or those who they deemed culture vultures. From Dave Chappelle bringing awareness to liberal insanity, identifying the hurtful agenda of the alphabet people. Okay? And from Dave Chappelle bringing awareness to liberal insanity, to the black community now standing up for tangibles from a compromised Democratic Party. But there's positives. We reported on this where Kendrick Lamar and other prestigious artists who had a positive impact on our youth stood up and proclaimed the importance of their rich, proud heritage of being of the sons of Jacob. That's right. Our people now realize that we're the true children of Israel, which has had a positive influence on our youth. Crime has gone down. Incarceration numbers are dwindling. Christ's light and grace is showing a path through our impoverished communities back to the Bible. At the end of the day, we have brothers and sisters coming up to us, even when we did the Music with the Purpose in Texas. Sister came up who was an atheist and said she would have never believed in the Bible. Her father was a pastor, and she was an atheist. Her family were pastors. And she says, I seen you online and it changed everything. I now realize the Bible belongs to us. And she couldn't believe that she was an atheist. Why? Because no one could really break down the Bible and give her the true narrative. Why? Because our people cannot really relate to something that doesn't have anything to do with it. When she realized that the Bible was our book, the book began to open and it made sense. So, the positives we see today, should be magnified through the darkness. So don't really follow what the media is trying to say. All these years that we've been proclaiming on the streets that we're Israel, they were totally dismissing it as if it was something, it's fringe, you don't got to worry about that, it's small. Now all of a sudden, every other day, there's a negative report on an Israelite. I thought you didn't have to worry about anything. I thought it was fringe. I thought it was just something a few guys got together with. It just wasn't that deep. They were downplaying the truth the whole time. So, what are you looking for this coming year? And here's a more important question we're going to answer. What can we expect according to Bible prophecy in this coming year? That's more important. Now, what I want to bring out, I want to show you, brothers and sisters, some statistics, if I may. Look at your screen if you don't mind. And I'm going to bring the elders in so that they can give me their word on this year and on a few of the details I'm about to bring out. One moment. 1 second here. Let me bring it up. All right. One moment. For some reason, it's not coming up.
I don't see it in my end, but
No, I get it.
Well, you get that, Elder.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So we have to start looking into this whole, blaming Israelite for everything under the sun, and things of that nature. And what the other was mentioned earlier that when you got to listen to the words that they're saying, linked to an Israelite or linked to an Israelite group and things of that nature. And what they're doing is that you may have a situation that, let's just say somebody likes or gives a thumbs up to a video. That could be a link.
Ridiculous.
So that's what the other was saying earlier, that we have to be very careful, because even befriending somebody, or somebody just send you a friend, request, and you just say, okay, whoever, maybe it's a brother who's, and I know a lot of brothers sometimes they'll use the social media like the Facebook to download our videos and promote the truth and all that.
I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. Hold up. We have a problem here. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Okay. Go ahead.
Certain snippets in regards of what the elder said, or something that you feel that you want to just help the movement. Be very careful who you befriend in social media. I don't have Facebook. I got out of Facebook. I told my daughter to get out of Facebook. And things of that nature. And I'm not judging anybody who has Facebook, but I'm saying you have to be very careful and things of that nature. Even there's sometimes certain groups there are in Facebook. People create certain groups, and they may invite you for a discussion.
Yeah.
And there could be one guy in there who is a nut job, and you don't even know it, and they could link you to this nut job. So we have to be very careful in social media, because when you look at the scripture, Christ always focused on go out and preach the gospel. Go out to the highways and byways. So really, the gospel is supposed to be a word of mouth type of thing. Yes, the social media it's a useful thing, things of that nature. But really, the conversation should be, what? Let me spend 2 hours a week just to hand out flyers,
exactly,
and engage with the people and talk to the people and things of that nature. And you get a better effect. I come from, the world of marketing. I said the best marketing is direct marketing.
Yeah.
When you go talk to the people, you take it to the streets and things of that nature. Commercials and things of that nature, they serve their purpose. But really, when you talk to the people, engage and things like that, that's when you'll be able to get the best result for your dollars, so to speak, as they say in the marketing world. So be careful that you don't start engaging too much, even debating with someone. They could link you with that person.
Exactly.
You're trying to teach them the word, but you have to. They could deem, well, you know this guy. You was talking to him.
Yeah.
So you're linked to this guy. So
yeah, because when they find out you're an Israelite, and that's a great point you made, you're gonna have people that's gonna come out to instigate or try to provoke you into something.
Yeah.
because what they're going to do now is they're going to try to claim that you are linked to terrorists.
Yeah.
And if they can link you to a terrorist, what will happen is you have no constitutional rights. You're now being tried under the Patriot Act.
Mm-hmm.
So be very careful. That's the time we're living in right now. Yeah. Now, what I wanted to show you is some of the statistics right here, right? Mm-hmm. It says right here, crime is down 2019. Crime in LA dropped again 2019. Police credit community outreach and gang intervention. Yeah, right.
Well,
oh, there's another one. I'm gonna let you get. Violent crime in Abilene. Violent crime down in Abilene 2019 in Abilene, Texas. Here it is in Boston, Thawada. Homicides and other violent crime in Boston. Crimes down in Boston 2019. Why am I showing you this, brothers and sisters? Why am I showing you this?
And may I add something? You know, they said about, outreach and things
Yeah.
of that nature. What outreach?
What outreach?
Because we're an outreach.
We're outreach.
You know, we go out and talk to the people.
Exactly.
Which area are we talking about here? They're making some changes.
Let me tell you, you know why crime is down? Because our people are figuring out we're the children of Israel.
Mm-hmm. On a global scale.
On a global scale. And I'm going to tell you, folks, because we were taught the church that the law is done away with, we're not accountable, no one can judge, we're under grace. So there was really no spiritual fear instilled in us within the Christian church. It wasn't until our people found out they were Israelites and started understanding the God of Israel and the punishment that led to this captivity that they realized that the God of Israel is the God that should be feared. Okay.
And see,
yeah.
The threat is not that we are screaming out that, the European Jews are not Jews. And
Yeah.
we're not even focused on them.
Yeah, they're not even our focus.
Jews.
Yeah, we're the Jews.
We're Israelites. So if you want to believe that they're Jews too and things like that, you entitled to that belief.
Yeah, you
I'm
can.
not even challenging that. That's what you want to believe. That's fine.
Yeah.
But what about all the evidence, historically, biblically, that proves that it's impossible. Anybody that reads the Bible, that the prophecy that Israel will be scattered to the fourth corner of the earth.
Yeah.
However, the Israelites are only going to be in the smallest continent in the world, Europe, and come out of that continent. And the scripture says we're going to be a multitude of nations.
Exactly.
Looking like everybody. So this nonsensical argument that you could never be an Israelite and things of that nature, but it's impossible because the scripture says we're going to come from every nation.
And it's deep that you brought that out because that's a perfect segue to what I have in front of us. And I brought it out amongst the pastors last Sabbath.
Yeah, I saw that was profound.
A Cambridge University press on black Jews. They've been tracking black Jews or people or slaves who had the knowledge of us being Israelites since we came to the shores of America. It's in Cambridge University. They try to make it seem like people are being radicalized online.
It's a new thing.
And that's why people are just jumping to this new thing because black people never really had any culture or history and they're just cleaving to the new thing. They're downplaying it.
Now, I got to give you what I heard, Elder.
What's the new one?
The reason why black people believe they're Israelites is because in 1492, when the Jews got kicked out of Spain, they went to Jamaica. And they taught the Jamaicans, and they converted a lot of the Jamaicans into Judaism. That's a new thing now.
So they're saying that Amalek came and converted them.
And things. But what they don't know is, yes, the Jews that were in Spain, they were not the Ashkenazi Jews, and that's very easy to prove.
Easy to prove. They were blacks.
They were called Moreno Jews.
Exactly.
Mulatto Jews. These
Yes.
were not Ashkenazi Jews. There's different sect of Jews and things of that nature.
Exactly.
So the Moreno Jews and things of that nature, you got writing that says that these Jews are just as swally, so as which is a German word means dark, as the the Irish
Yeah.
or the Scots.
Yeah.
And you know, they as just as dark as the Scots.
Exactly.
You know, and things showing and that's the family of King James.
King James, the Black Scots.
Yeah, so
exactly.
so people gotta get away from this thing. Just because you were a Jew and you were in Europe, that means you was white. And things of that nature.
And let me say this for the sake of political correctness, right? I accept Europeans, Ashkenazis, as Jews. And I'm going to tell you why I accept them as Jews. I accept them as Jews through conversion.
Right.
Because that happened before. Under Hyrcanus, during the Maccabean period, you have to keep in mind a large number of Edomites converted into what they call Judaism. And that's where the term Jews really come from, Jews.
Right.
We're from the tribe of Judah. We're not claiming to be an Israelite according to a conversion or a religion. It wasn't someone coming up to me with the Bible that made me an Israelite. I'm an Israelite because the Bible prophesied I would be in this land serving my enemy. Okay? And God showed us that according to his word, we're the only people that fit that prophecy according to bloodline. And this is what they feared. So they don't mind you being a Muslim or a Christian because that's not a threat to the powers that be. I'm talking about the spiritual hierarchy. The knowledge of us being Israelites is what unravels this whole system. Because all nations in Psalms 83 conspired together and say, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel be no more in remembrance. So they were waiting. They knew this time would come where God's people would begin to come back to the knowledge of their national origin, according to the Bible. Why? Because as this empire fall, the children of Israel would begin to rise, according to prophecy.
Dry bones.
Exactly, that valley of dry bones. So
it ain't dry no more.
hey, listen, ain't dry. We got water. We have water.
Dry the barrel is the other t-shirt.
Listen, we're no longer dry. We got water. Want some? Now, check this out. There's a guy, they try to make it seem like, oh, some black Israelites, that's some new stuff. You talking about those crazy guys with chaps on the corner?
That's started in the 70s.
Folks, I got something from the late 1700s. A man by the name, let me get it here, let me pull it up here. Get it here for you. By the name of Gabriel Prosser. Man, this blew these pastors away in North Philly.
I saw that, yep.
Gabriel Prosser, who's reported on in Cambridge University. They try to make you believe that this is something just happened since the advent of the internet.
Yeah.
That black people proclaiming to be Israelites. They've been tracking us, Cambridge University's records, they've been tracking us since the slave ships. What do we have on this, pray tell? Check this out. Elder Lawyer, read this about Gabriel Prosser while I pull up the article on Gabriel Prosser.
Wanted dead or alive. So what this guy did they wanted dead.
Yeah.
Was he wanted dead or alive? I wonder what he did.
Read it, Elder Lawyer, come on.
It says here, black Jews, the same claim, the premises of the movements. In the first months of 1879, there was a massive migration of some 5,000 blacks to the northern territories of the United States.
In 1879, there was a mass migration of blacks, slaves, to where?
The United States, or the northern territories of the United States.
Into the northern territory of the United States, read.
Mainly Kansas and Oklahoma.
Kansas and Oklahoma. Cambridge University, folks. Read.
This exodus was of the sparing blacks seeking a refuge, a place where their political rights would mean something, where they would be free from economic exploitation and above all... Guess what? We were working as a unit amongst each other so that we couldn't get exploited by the Gentile nations.
Nothing new under the sun.
In 1879, there was no such thing as Arabs and other people coming into our neighborhoods exploiting us. Even the whites couldn't exploit us. Read.
And above all, from the dangerous activities of the Ku Klux Klan.
So this is why the Zionists formed the KKK.
I gotta ask him stuff later on.
Okay, go ahead.
About that.
Come on, let's bring it.
One of the members of this exodus was Benjamin Pat Singleton.
Come on.
An elderly and colorful man who led a group of 300 blacks to Cherokee Country or Cherokee County in Kansas. There they founded a colony, Singleton's Colony, Singleton calling himself the Moses of the Exodus.
He was calling himself what?
The Moses of the Exodus.
He was calling himself the Moses of the Exodus.
Of colored people.
Of colored people. There you go, right on your screen, folks. Right on your screen. 1879. This black man knew that he was an Israelite. How do we know this? Finish reading.
From 1900 onwards, North and South Carolina were overrun by black preachers.
Black preachers. Now, the original black preachers in America was teaching what? Read.
Who were propagating a doctrine according to which the lost tribe of the house of Israel was none other than the Negroes.
Look how the Most High brought it around full circle. The first black preachers in America was teaching that we were the children of Israel. Cambridge University. I got it. They didn't think we would find this data, this information.
Yeah, every generation.
The Most High is opening it up.
Yeah.
He's freeing our people. Now he's coming around full circle and exposing the pastors now who are not teaching what the original pastors in America taught us after slavery. Read on.
A historical example, it says here, although this might at first seem an odd claim, it can be seen as reflecting the beliefs that some black slaves held during their captivity.
Hold up. Some black slaves held during their captivity. Read.
When they were interrogated on their origins.
So that means when they were tortured and interrogated on the origin of their beliefs.
Their destiny. So I'm going to read that again. It says, although this might at first seem an odd claim.
So it might seem an odd claim.
It can be seen as reflecting the beliefs that some black slaves held during their captivity when they were interrogated on their origins.
Exactly. And you hear in the so-called conscious community that there's no evidence of black slaves when they came to America or holding on to the culture of the Hebrew.
Right.
They were holding on to Islam or whatever magic African spiritual thing. Now, there's the evidence. Cambridge information.
Cambridge University.
You know, and you before that you got what's that brother's name? Aquiano.
Yeah.
Okay, he goes back to the 1600s, and he was saying he was Igbo, and he comes from that. So it's a farce to believe that we were coming in with some African culture, Kemetic situation. That was the last of the
exactly. We're about to blow them out of the water now. Go ahead, Gaja. What you got?
Hey, check this out, Elder. Funny you brought that out, right? In Jamaica, yeah. Check this out. In Jamaica, in 1831, right? There was a rebellion out there known as the Baptist Rebellion, right? And let me read something here for you real quick.
Come on. The Baptist Rebellion.
It says Jamaica's Baptist Rebellion. Jamaica's biggest slave revolt out immediately after Christmas, 1831, and lasted for 10 days. About 500 slaves took part. They attacked over 225 estates and caused damage totaling over £1 million. Georgia Estate in Trelawney, owned by Thomas Gordon of Beutal and Carnes, was one of the estates caught up in the rebellion. Afterwards, the 5 of Gordon's slaves were sentenced to life imprisonment for joining the fighting. Samuel Sharp, one of the most prominent leader of the rebels, a slave from Creighton Estate in St. James Parish, he was also a charismatic leader in the Baptist Church. Many of the other figures were also Baptists. They used Christian theology to argue that they could only have one master, Jesus Christ. So
that's profound. That's profound.
Woo!
Listen. So this is the problem, Elder. The problem is that we are now reading back the Bible again the way we have always read it.
Exactly.
That's why they had to come up with the slavery Bible.
They
had to take all those scriptures that identify us in the Bible.
And they had to get some buck dancers to go along with it.
Exactly.
Now, it's one point I want to pull out, guys. Just stick with me, all right? Finish reading from the Cambridge, Elder Lawyer. Come on.
Sir. It says, although this might at first sight seem an odd claim, it can be seen as reflecting the beliefs that some black slaves had held during their captivity when they were interrogated on their origins, their destiny. A historical example supports this hypothesis. A slave uprising took place in Richmond, Virginia.
A slave uprising took place where?
In Richmond, Virginia.
In Richmond, Virginia, brothers and sisters. Listen.
At the beginning of the 19th century, which was held by a slave called Gabriel Prosser.
On your screen is a man by the name of Gabriel the blacksmith, wanted dead or alive, a reward of $250,000, folks. And this is in the late 1700s.
That's a lot of money for that time.
Listen to why they wanted this man dead. Now, this is during the time of the drafting of the Declaration of Independence, around the time this guy was born.
Yep.
Read it, Elder Lawyer.
So it says, a slave uprising took place in Richmond, Virginia at the beginning of the 19th century, which was led by a slave called Gabriel Prosser.
Gabriel Prosser.
An outstanding personality who had acquired some knowledge of the Bible.
Come on. Hold up. He acquired some knowledge of the Bible. See, this is why they were killing slaves for reading the Bible. Read.
He frequently referred to it in order to convince his brothers that they were the descendants of the Israelites.
They were who?
The descendants of the Israelites.
The what?
The descendants of the Israelites.
He was teaching that we were the children of Israel in the late 1700s, folks.
So that kills the notion that the white men used the Bible to enslave us.
Exactly.
Because we were using the Bible to liberate us.
They took away the true doctrine of the Bible. And that's why you have your apologists and all these other theologian demons coming out saying, when we begin to use the Bible, say they'll come and try to cut us off by claiming you cannot use racial theology. You cannot use racial politics. Why? Because that keeps us in the box. The only people who can talk about race and being related to the Bible are them. So when we start claiming who we are, that brings into question, well, who exactly are you? Right? But finish reading, Elder Lawyer.
So it says he frequently referred to it in order to convince his brothers.
Cambridge University, folks. Go ahead.
That they were the descendants of the Israelites.
He was teaching our people that we were the descendants of Israelites.
And that God would free them from slavery as he had their ancestors.
Woo! Come on.
He identified himself with Samson, his favorite biblical character. Like Samson, he wore his hair long as a sign given by God of the alliance made with his people.
Go ahead.
Gabriel Prosser was convinced that God had chosen him to free his people from the depths of slavery. Like a black Samson, he would break the chains of slavery and found a nation of free blacks in America. His fall was dramatic. During a night raid, a violent storm broke. His companions, petrified, fled. Convinced that they were the victims of divine wrath, they abandoned him. And guess what? I'll bring something up now. The same thing with Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman wasn't the beginner of the Underground Railroad. She ended up turning on another slave abolitionist that they needed out of the way, a brother, a black man. Okay. A black man, I think his name was John Smith. They was looking to get him. They was looking to try to take him down, and they used Harriet Tubman to do so. And when they did the raid against him,
she was nowhere in sight. She was supposed to be there. And that's why they uphold her, opposed to the real story where the black men were trying to break our people free. And that's important that we understand this in history, because we're told throughout history the black man never stood up for our nation. That the black man never did anything.
Right.
Now, one other thing. On your desk is the original reward deed for Gabriel Proctor, who knew he was an Israelite. Check out what he was actually wanted for. One count of massive interracial conspiracy for planning to exploit the divisions amongst whites. That means you're not supposed to cross white lines. And forge an interracial coalition. I thought we were supposed to be, there's no Jew or Greek, rich or poor. What was wrong with him interacting and networking with white people?
So this brother was even raising white people.
He was bringing white people in his church.
In his movement.
In his, yeah. Listen.
That sounds like you, Elder.
Oh, no, leave me alone now. Leave me alone. Listen. For planning to exploit the divisions amongst whites and forge an interracial coalition comprised of several groups. Urban slaves, especially slave artisans like himself, agrarian slaves, free blacks, white mechanics, artisans, laborers, poor, non-slaveholding whites, and white lovers of liberty, especially Quakers, Methodists, and French immigrants, as well as local Native Americans and 2 militant abolitionists. With the knowledge of the Bible and him being Israelite and him following Christ, they seen this man as a what? A threat to the foundation of America being built. This is near 1776, during the, what you would, is that big, Gaja? Huh?
Hey, that was the GOCC back then.
Exactly.
That was the gathering of Christ Church then.
Every generation. And they don't talk about it.
Right.
You never heard it. What about, Roots? It was a month-long series, whatever.
Exactly.
Not one peep.
Yeah.
On this thing.
In Roots, none of the slave pictures show any of this rich history from the Cambridge University. They've been tracking the awakening since the slave ships, folks. And this is why they were killing us for reading the Bible. Now, the second count, 1 count of possession of weapons without a permit. Why would he need a permit when he was a blacksmith? They went to him to make the guns. He would make all the guns and stuff.
Exactly.
Next one. 1 count each of attempted insurrection, attempted kidnapping, and fomenting revolution. Now, you know why they say he was kidnapping? Because slaves was leaving the plantation and learning how to read the Bible and joining him. And they say he was kidnapping our slaves. Now, next. Listen to this. The next count, resisting arrest. Next count, straight awesomeness, because he bit someone's ear. He Mike Tyson, one cat. Here's the aftermath. 27 slaves, including Gabriel, were hung in Richmond. Some $8,900 were paid to slaveholders as compensation. Laws tightened governing the hiring out of slaves to cities. Manumitted slaves forced to leave the state. Now, you know what's deep about this, folks? What you're reading on your screen right here is one thing. But Cambridge University gets to the root of his belief system and the power of it. If he can believe in Christ and understand that Bible and unite all his people, understanding that we're the children of Israel, that he could build a kingdom within a kingdom. See, and this is what they feared with Christ.
Yeah.
He says, what you mean that he can tear down our kingdom in 3 days and build his kingdom?
That's right.
Because you're supposed to be an American here. You're not supposed to be thinking about a kingdom to come. So you see what's going on here, folks? He believed in Christ, and Christ gave him the power to go beyond the racial lines, because with the truth, it transcends color.
Right.
There's good people who want to unite and do the right thing according to the Most High, but there's not enough leaders to unite them. Exactly. And that was the issue. And guess what? They hung him dead. He died in the year 1800. So all of the pastors, the black pastors in the beginning, knew they were all Israelites. There was no such thing as a pastor teaching that the law was done away with, and a pastor that was teaching like they teaching now and it doesn't matter, or a pastor teaching that we're from the seeds of Ham. None of that existed when we came off the shores.
Right. The Europeans were pushing that. We were not pushing that. So we knew who we were.
You know how groundbreaking this is? And folks, all this, listen, this information, all this and more, I only got a little bit of it. It's all Booker T. Washington. Nat Turner.
This goes on and on.
All of them knew they were Israelites, folks, and that was their death sentence. And it's deep because when it come around to even Malcolm X, when Malcolm X started going into Africa and started listening to those brothers in New York, and then he came out and says that we are the body of the dry bones. Who the body of the dry bones? The children of Israel.
You can't find that in the Quran.
They had to get rid of him too. So when they claim that Israelites are something that just popped up through the internet, don't buy it. When they come out with these negative stories demonizing, don't listen to it. Because this is really the only thing that could have liberated our people, us coming back to the knowledge of ourselves. And I thank the Most High that this information was revealed to us by the end of 2019. You had something to say?
Yeah, and it's funny because this brother in the 1800s, he was looking to get out of the threat of the Ku Klux Klan, who has a history of violence.
Exactly.
Right? When you have all the conversation about, this guy being linked to Black Israelite, that girl has been linked, or this person, there was not one talk about the European young brother who killed, went to the black church and killed all those people. There was no talk. I mean, there was linked about that he was a racist, but there was no talk about passing laws to attack and to get rid of the KKK.
Right.
But now,
good point.
There is a thing that a guy used to be an Israelite, and I read an article that it was 5 years prior that he visit a group, once or twice, 5 years prior. That's it.
Yeah.
That was the link.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And things of that nature.
Yeah.
Now they're gonna pass some laws because we got to stop these people from, street preaching. But what about the KKK in the 90s? I remember when they actually got a permit to march in New York. Remember that?
Yes.
And all the black African Americans, it was like, nah, it just shouldn't happen. All shopped it all, all revved up, but they got the permit to do it. And the reason why they were given the permit is their religious rights.
Exactly.
Freedom of speech.
Exactly.
Right.
It's only when we want to exercise our freedom of speech.
Only when us we want to exercise.
Now, the heaven and earth has to be changed.
Exactly.
Right.
Great point, Elder.
If I can mention also, going back to that point, we brought this up before, you were mentioning 5 years, and this is, assuming everything
it's what they're saying.
What they're saying, right? 5 years ago, he was associated with an Israelite group. Let's say he was a full-fledged member 5 years ago.
Yeah.
We can all agree that when he was an Israelite 5 years ago, he didn't commit this crime or commit any crime.
Exactly.
So what does that tell you about the Israelite movement and being a part of, regardless of what you may think about?
Hold on. We only have 2 minutes of stream left, so if you want to get in on this discussion, dial in now, 515-605-9327. You will not be able to get in if you don't call within 2 minutes. Hit the number 1 button if you have something to say. 515-605-9327. We're going to do a little overtime. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So just the last point. There's something about being an Israelite, regardless of what the organization is, regardless of what some of the extreme things they may say out of their mouth.
Yeah.
There's something that happens to someone when they become an Israelite that forces them to abstain from crimes against society.
Exactly.
Listen, all Israelite groups have one thing in common.
90 seconds.
The Most High, the vengeance belongs to the Lord.
Exactly.
So you can find that in the record. You can go back to the 20s, the 90s, the 80s, the 70s. We never advocated any violence against anybody. Now, if somebody, some quack job who came from West Babylon, once after they get presented with these medication, go and start doing some violence, you can't blame the organization.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, if that
60
if that
seconds.
guy would have still been an Israelite, that would have saved those people he killed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because we would have, we would have brainwashed his mind,
Yeah.
cleansed his mind of that filth.
Yeah.
So being Israelite is actually saving lives.
It is.
Exactly.
Because
That's right.
now we have the young black youth, young Latino youth, angry at the system, okay, and things of that nature. Now they have reasons why. They have a biblical,
Exactly.
historical reference why they went to slavery, why they because listen, even as a kid, my father was a pastor. It always bothered me that slavery in the history of our people was not really mentioned in the Bible.
Yeah.
That God didn't even think of us. The greatest tragedy to human human life was not even mentioned in the Bible.
It's
That
not to have
bothered
a
me.
purpose. Yeah.
Yeah. So now when I find out, like, oh, it was a curse. It was biblical. God ordained this because we went against the commandments of God.
Yeah.
That actually relaxed me. That
Exactly.
actually calmed me down against Europeans.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, because when you don't have reasons why, you start getting angry.
Right.
You don't know the reasons why.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And let me say something on your point, right? What we're teaching in our church proves that no one can be radicalized
Yeah.
against other races by finding out they're Israelites.
Yeah.
Because when we first found the truth, the school was teaching the white man is a devil,
Yeah.
this, that, and the other. And we're not a product that came from any of that.
Yeah.
We began to read the Bible and understand what the Bible is saying, and that's it. And you know what it did?
Mm-hmm.
When you really learn the Bible, this is what it does. It makes it, like Elder Gabar is saying,
Yeah.
it's making it where you can no longer blame the white man now.
Yeah.
You have to take full ownership because it was the sins of our forefathers that put us under the white man. So why should I blame him?
Right.
He's doing his job. This society, the Roman Empire, are doing their job according to prophecy. Daniel said that the fourth beast would be the fourth beast, Rome. They're here. I'll be fighting against God if I was to go against white people, know that God established Rome as the fourth beast. It's utterly ridiculous. So it turned that attention to a point where I'm like, well, you know what? I'm not going to be against white people. The whole thing is this. If I'm a child of God and Christ have tasked me to be a light to the Gentiles, how can I make sure that a white person don't do to me, to my child, what was done to me? Why don't I teach them and their children? I'll teach them what's right. That's what I'll do. I don't have to worry about, oh my God, I'm hate the white man. No, the best thing I can do is use my light of Christ to teach them. Because why? In order for them to lie to us, they had to lie to the Gentiles too. So
Yeah.
what am I going to do with this truth? Just insulate it and point towards some white people? That's utterly ridiculous. That's minimizing God's power. Now, one other thing I want to say real quick, right? And I'm going into this in the academy. I even got a record of what they did after our people, the black pastors, were saying we were Israelites. They came with the scientists now to deem us subhuman. Right? On the science side, they would say we were subhuman and say, well, look, you can't lie against the data. They're subhuman. That's number one. And that particular ideology filtered into American Christian theology, in which that subhuman was being taught as sons of Cain, sons of Ham, within mainstream European racist Christianity. See, there was no separation between church and state when we got off the boats. So whatever they deemed right in science became part of the Christian theology of the Europeans. See? So you have to realize that brand of subhuman doctrine has become the Christian doctrine they have peddled into our communities. And the greatest threat to that is when our people don't accept the doctrine of it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And begin to relate our pain, our suffering, our curses
Exactly.
to what God said would happen to us according to the book of Deuteronomy. This is what they fear now. They'd rather you hate the white man and deal with that type of doctrine because they're prepared physically to deal with that. When Christ said, I mean, when the disciples was mentioning that the weapons of our warfare aren't carnal, that we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but principalities and powers and the dark forces working in dark places, the invisible. Our real enemy is controlling the politics of this earth, the governments of this earth. That's who we're tearing down with this knowledge. So, go ahead.
Let me have one scripture, Elder.
Come on.
I'm in Jeremiah 16 and 19. Which
Come on.
reads, O Lord, my strength and my fortress.
I'm going to give y'all the name of the book in a second. I'll give y'all the name of the book.
My
Come on.
fortress and my refuge in the day of my of affliction. The Gentiles shall come unto thee from the end of the earth, and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no value, no profit. So the Gentiles are waking up. They realize they've been bamboozled. They've been lied to, and things of that nature. So this is not about, racial necessarily, because it's Jew and Gentile alike. Because the Most High also says in the scripture that besides those that he are scattered, I want to call others unto me as well. And we referring to the Gentiles. Let the son of the stranger, they join himself unto me, said, that I am not a dry tree. Let him not, the Most High has out of me to separate me from his people. But so there has to be a balance with this thing. And people, that's the biggest fear, that you have people, the Israelites, Chinese people waking up, African people waking up, white people waking up. Now, when there's a unity, like this brother was trying to unify and things of that nature, and Israel, and Judah, natural leader, natural speaker, charismatic, that's the biggest fear.
Exactly.
They don't want that guy to be heard by the Chinese, the Arabs, the white people, say, maybe this Negro has a point.
Exactly.
We've been bamboozled.
Exactly.
Because what happened is that these nations, they've been benefited of the lie, but now they're getting affected.
They've been played too.
They've been played too.
Like I tell you, the book of Obadiah.
Yeah. Yep. So now
they're being played. They realized that they were tricked into fighting against the children of God, and that now God have turned the pendulum, swung the pendulum to our side. See, this race is only between black and white, folks, Jacob and Esau. The Gentiles are just in between nations who would follow who's ever in power.
That's right.
When Christ come back, the Gentiles will be under him.
That's right.
So the whole thing is the Gentiles are just, I would say, role players in this. But the greatest battle, the race, that's why they call it a race, is between Jacob and Esau. It so happened we're Jacob. Now, one other thing I want to pull out, because even though I was going to pull it out in the academy, y'all forced me to give y'all this, so I'm going to give y'all this tidbit. I'm going to give y'all this tidbit. Where is it? Right here, where it says Cambridge. It says Cambridge. Right here, right? Let me get it. I'll get it for you. I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to let y'all see it so y'all can, I might as well let them see it. They don't make it. Window capture. Cam. That. Where it says Cambridge. It's one of these.
Maybe scroll down.
Right here. Right? That's it right there. All right. Because some of you asking, because when we pull out this information, usually they try to scrub the internet and take this stuff away from you. But I so happen to download it, and I'm going to make sure the people in the academy has a copy of this as I go over. When I go over the 12 lost tribes found, I'm going to have this literature up from Cambridge and other universities as a reference for the academy, for those who are going to be in that lesson. So, I mean, this is really school literature, but I'm giving it to y'all because so many people be saying, well, why do you don't share your academy information with me? Well, I'm sharing something with you today. If you want the rest, you got to be in the academy. That's all I got to tell you. Okay? Because what makes you where you can't be in it and everyone else is participating, right? Here it is right here in front of you. Black Jews, the religious challenge, or politics versus religion, author Ulysses Santa Maria, European Journal of Sociology. So this source is from Europe. Archives, okay? So this one was updated, or I accessed it the 19th. I had to pay to download it. I had to go to the site, pay to download it.
Yeah.
So this is the actual reference right here, and they update it every some might years. Black Jews, the religious challenge or politics versus religion. And why do they say versus religion? They knew that it would be the knowledge of us coming to Israel that would begin to tear down our religious strongholds.
False religion.
Right. So listen, this is their, I paid for it. And I have more.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? They're going to screw up the internet. They don't want our people to know that this is not, let me tell you, this is no Johnny come lately doctrine like they're trying to claim. The Most High have broken the seals.
Yeah, that's why try to get the books, the handwritten books. Don't try to get the Kindle or download.
Oh yeah. For the sake of this, because y'all about to give me some more work. I'll make sure in the academy we'll give them the link to access it. Because I paid for this. I mean, y'all trying to just take all my stuff. All right, I'll give you the link to access it. And my brother, you got to go get your own, but we'll do it in the academy. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Amen. But and I want to also wanted to say something. Just something that kind of bothered me. I 2 weeks ago, I think a week ago, you told me about that there was a fellow in the Christian apologies community that has an Italian name, but really. He's Jewish.
He lied to you when he reached out to you, told you he was Italian, but really he was Jewish.
So Mr. Italian vocab, when you and I were having a conversation.
Reiser is his name.
Yeah, Mr. Weiser. When you and I were having a conversation, and I actually, we were just talking and getting to know each other, and then I actually, so vocab, what's your name? That's Italian? Oh, yeah, so you're Italian. Yes. As a matter of fact, I said, some of the Italians are the Israelites. And you was like, okay, I heard that, from you Israelites. You should have right now correct me and say, well, actually, I'm Jewish. I'm not Italian.
But he was slithering the whole time.
So, you being a Christian, right? Isn't the Bible says...
Is that Christ-like?
Thou should not raise false witness. I mean, thou should not lie. I mean, is it not... or at least that's grace too. Maybe, I don't know. So, Mr. So-called vocab, Reiser, whatever your name is, answer that. Why is it you would let me to believe you was Italian, and I was going into conversation with you, and you lied to me?
My whole thing is, why is he so concerned about our people and what we believe in our communities? What that got to do with him?
Exactly. You're a liar.
Go find out what's going on with Weinstein and his stinking private wickedness that he's dealing with, and what radicalized him to start raping those women up in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Okay, leave us alone. We here to serve Christ. Here it is.
Go somewhere with that.
We're here to serve Christ. We're here to baptize and to bring people to the knowledge of God. And through that, as you can see, the statistics aren't lying.
Mm-hmm.
This is helping our people. Keep in mind, crime is dropping all over the world since this truth has been made mainstream.
Yeah.
There's less crime in our communities. Yeah. And there's, I believe it's a correlation between God shining his light on our people, giving us grace, and now having our people now who are becoming accountable to the law, statutes, and commandments that they're cleaving to now in love, in the love they have for this book.
Yeah, and just to add to your saying that in regards crime is going down, I think is a connection with also, I don't know if it's me, but I believe that gangster rap is in decline.
Yeah.
You don't hear it.
Yeah, people ain't dealing with that no more.
That's not really, and that's why I think, this guy, 69, Cash 69, whatever his name, that is rumored that he was a plant, or he was a CIA agent or FBI working for that he was already. So I think what is happening is that the young kids are not rapping about shooting guns and all that. And I think the reasons why is because the gangsters that lived in the 90s, they grew up. So now they're talking to the young people. Listen, stop that. I just did 15 years. I just came out. That's not, So they're not similar to the Christian community. That the younger generation not turning over to that nonsense. I think the younger generation also waking up. It's like, you know what? I'm going to leave that drug thing alone. I'm going to go to college. Try to get my life together. Things of that nature. So I think we're awakening, man. It's the battle to dry bone.
You know what? And it's deep you talking about that, because the young people now, they're wising up and becoming more fiscally.
Exactly, that's right.
They're becoming more fiscally knowledgeable. I'm going to tell you this right now, because They're starting to realize that a real boss don't wear their money on the outside of them. Yeah. You rarely see someone that really have something with a lot of jewelry.
Yeah.
Okay. Or a lot of cars and all that. You understand? They're modest because that's how they make their way through.
Save their money.
To consolidate and take like they take. Why? Because they become the common man. Okay. And see, a lot of these rappers are realizing it ain't about you flossing and getting a car and a house and all that. No, it's what are you going to do for your people? Because when these other nations get some level of prestige or position, they meet every Sabbath at the synagogue. And they talk about what they're going to do with the money they've taken out of the black communities. They don't just say, oh yeah, oh yeah, Goldberg, yeah, check out I'm Crush Groove, and look at me, I'm flossing. No, they meet at the synagogue and says, okay, how are we going to, now that we have already destroyed them and their God has now continued to turn his back on them because they chose sin, their church is teaching them that they're not under law, they're under grace, so they're dying exponentially. Yep. Now, since we have lied to them and now since we have financed their buffoonery, eventually more death will occur in their neighborhoods. How can we now plan to buy their mother's houses and their mother's property right from up under them? See, that's how they roll. They'll be around you and they'll take you to the jewelry store and have you do all that. But look at what they have on. You look at their sneaks, it's one sneak is turned to the side. I'm like, yo, like even when I was in the music business, right? Coming up, my manager, you know, this guy had one pair of sneakers. I'm like, I got a pair of Jordans. He's like, Jordans? Like, yeah, I only paid $16 for these. And he started laughing. Man, he drove me up to his place in Society Hill. And I'm like, man, this is where you live at? Yeah. So you still want those Jordans? So a lot of our people are waking up now and saying, well, listen, it's not about that. If I'm not benefiting my people, I'm failing my people.
And just to add to that, like for instance, right now my daughter's in college, right? And they're bombarding her with
man, people talking about it. I'm showing my age, right? Because I think I'm supposed to be saying stuff like, you know what I mean? It's lit. And my clothes I got my drip on. I said Crush Groove, and I'm like, what that? What the Fat Boys was rapping back then? But go ahead. But go on.
So even in every aspect, because now even my daughter, they're bombarding her with credit cards. Get this credit card. Get this credit card. And so a lot of these young people and things of that nature, we play it smart. So listen, get all the benefits and you could get and things of that nature. So just very little tuition and things of that nature. But young people are smarter. That thing that we were when we were at that age. They're saving their money, they're being respected, they understand about credit now and things. And it's a conversation now the young people are having conversation that when I was in my 20s, what was credit? I didn't, and things of that nature. So it's a conscience. We are the true conscious community.
Exactly.
The Israelite community is the true conscious
Christ is the true conscious community. He raises our consciousness beyond all ideologies on earth. And it's the truth that's setting us free.
It's getting at the concept of this world or this government. That's important. It's like Christ says, you're in this world, but you're not of
Exactly. And I'm going to say this, brothers and sisters, just for the sake of putting it out there, even though I know that no one is actually being radicalized and all that online. I'm going to say this for you. Don't take on someone else's spirit. Don't let someone else put a battery in your back to do something that will cause harm to you and your family. You don't have to feel a certain type of way about a race of people because the guy that teaching you the Bible feels a certain type of way. If he got some race issues, tell him to go handle that. Okay? But leave that Bible alone. Go handle your childhood issues. Go pray to the Most High and come back with a sane, sober mind to teach the word. So keep in mind, when you have people where their whole doctrine is built on race, that show you that they really don't have the understanding of Christ's doctrine. They need the provocation, that they need the crowd that comes from conflict to be the foundation of their ministry. Okay? So, brothers and sisters, let me tell you, don't hate someone because someone else hates them. Just because I care for everyone else and I respect everyone else like I would like to be respected, it doesn't minimize who I am as a child of Jacob.
Exactly. It's in your position.
It don't minimize that the promises of Abraham were for me. It doesn't minimize that the blood of Christ, the physical blood of Christ that ran through his veins is running through mine. It doesn't minimize that. So don't let somebody shame you into saying, oh, you the one around those white people. That person is, believe it or not, spiritually, when it comes to spiritual intellect, if they're talking like that, you are behind that. Okay, because a leader looks to how they're going to do what? Affect the whole earth.
That's right.
You're seeing how you're going to affect everyone, not just because this is what they told us. Black people are only supposed to affect people in the black community.
Right.
That's how they programmed us to believe.
Right.
That a black man or a black woman only have enough power within the parameters of his neighborhood.
That's a myth.
That's a myth because Christ affected the world.
That's what they're used to. They're used to the, I guess you would say, the gatekeeper mindset amongst us, where you have the one black guy who just deals with the pool of black people.
Yeah.
But what happens when now his influence outreaches just that pool of black people?
Good
That
point.
will become dangerous.
As we were mentioning earlier, you become
Exactly.
become a danger.
Exactly. So don't let nobody try to tell you to say something against racially against people. Watch what you're typing on social media too. Get me? They're chronologizing everything, and their links are so weak. But it doesn't matter if they link you. Nonetheless, it'll be used against you. Okay. Watch what you're putting out there. Okay. Watch it. And guess what? Sometimes we all have a bad day. Okay. So even if you're feeling something outside of the spirit one day, be careful not to document it and put it out there so it can be used against you.
Go jog, go hit the gym.
Because we all have bad days. Yeah. Go pray.
Yeah.
But watch what you say. Be careful. That's why I say be careful while you're in a heated mess. Begin to text or leave messages and all that, under demon possession. Somebody's in your vessel controlling you. You can't even control yourself, and you're going to let it out, and you're going to be like, man, you're going to be like, man, that wasn't me. It wasn't you. A spirit guiding you. So I'm going to tell you, brothers and sisters, watch what you write. Watch who you friend. It's going to be used against you, I'm telling you. And when it comes to what the future holds, according to this up-and-coming Jubilee, I guess we're going to teach that this Sabbath, Elder Lawyer. We'll teach that this Sabbath. We're going into a dark, dark, dark time. Take advantage of this light. I'm going to tell you that right now while it's still opportunity. All right, let's go down the line here. Let's go down the line. I'm sorry. Elder Gaja, you had something to say? Before I go down the line?
Yes, sir. I was going to bring out a precept before when you was talking about the Bible giving liberation to us and understanding that we can't blame other nations for our condition.
Okay.
And,
all right.
It was just on that point, if you don't mind, I'll just read it real quick.
Yes, sir. You have the floor.
I'm in the book of Leviticus, the 26th chapter. All right, and the 26th chapter is also in parallel with Deuteronomy 28 as well, for the blessings and curses. Leviticus 26, verse 40, it reads, "If they shall confess their iniquity and the iniquity of their fathers with their trespass, which they have trespassed against me, and that also they have walked contrary unto me, and that I also walk contrary unto them, and have brought them into the land of their enemies, if then their uncircumcised hearts be humbled, and then they accept of the punishment of their iniquity, then will I remember my covenant with Jacob, and also my covenant with Isaac, and also my covenant with Abraham, and I will remember, and I will remember the land. So the Bible, the scriptures, knowing I'm an Israelite, knowing we're the children of Israel, the descendants of Abraham, it's liberation. We're not looking to harm nobody with this information. This information tells us why we're here and tells us how to get out of the situation. So, hey.
Elder, since you on that, and that's a great point. This is Christ. Elder Lawyer, can you read that Matthew 5:12? Read that all the way down to 12 to 19. I mean 8. What's that? 5?
5 and 13.
Yeah, 5 and 13 down to 18. Read that. This is Christ speaking now. If you don't want to believe what the Gathering of Christ Church is saying, listen to our Savior. Listen.
St. Matthew chapter 5, verse number 13. Ye are the salt of the earth.
We, the children of Israel, are the salt of the earth. You know what we are? We're the flavor. You take us away, you got Russia. Okay? Come on, let's go.
But if the salt have lost his savor,
But if the salt have lost its flavor,
wherewith shall it be salted? It is henceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under the foot of men.
so check this out, folks. You ever be at a restaurant, in some restaurants, they don't want to put no salt in the food? And our people say, where that salt at? When God made our essence, we are that salt. That means nothing is good on earth unless the Most High sprinkle a little bit of us on it.
Israelite, yep.
But suppose you don't have that flavor that was given to you through the essence of the Almighty. Suppose you lost that flavor. Your flavor was supposed to affect the world. Not negatively, but positively. The world has been watching you anyway. When you wear your pants a certain type of way, you have Chinese people now talking about, yeah, what's up, dude? You talk a certain type of way. And then you have another guy coming out, yeah, today I got time, dude. Yeah, I got time. Today I got time, homie. Because why? They've been following us inadvertently. But we've been using that salt for something else. That's why Christ is saying, what good is your salt if you're not using it for your Father? Read on.
Verse number 14. You are the light of the world.
We are the light of the world. Everyone follows our trend. But the devil have redirected that light. The devil have used that source for him. And Christ is saying that if you do right, the whole world will follow. Read.
A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid.
A city that's set on a hill cannot be hid. This is our Savior speaking. Read.
Verse 15. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel.
You don't light a candle and put it under a bushel.
But on a candlestick.
So the whole world can see it. Read.
And it giveth light unto all that are in the house.
See that? The house is the earth. If you have that light, you're supposed to affect all races righteously. Read.
Verse 18. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven.
So at the end of the day, even the Gentile nations are going to say, you know what? Their God is the true God. Allah is not the true God. Buddha is not the true God. Zeus or Jesus is not the real God. He was always the God of the poor. Ahia is truly the God of Israel. But they're going to see the Most High power through you. Folks, through you. Let's get the lines now. 501 area code. We're going to just give each person a minute or two each, and we're going to wish you all Godspeed and say, listen, it's time for us to put all malice aside. We're going to need each other in the spirit through this dark time. A dark time is coming, and we're going to need each other. The bickering, fighting, okay, all the small little things that really doesn't matter, we have to set it aside because it's going to be about self-preservation very soon, folks. Okay, that's what they're going to try to. They're going to try to put out that spirit of self-preservation, so that we don't unite and understand our power is together.
And also, could I also add earlier before you take the call?
Yeah.
Latin America, okay? Myself, Dean Kazak from Puerto Rico.
Praise the Most High.
We're putting together a database of people. We do know there are people are hearing us in South America.
Yeah.
We actually have a radio show, a Spanish radio show in Panama. Okay, and we're going to expand that and things of that nature. So in the future, we're going to be also addressing and attacking the South America country. If you have a loved one in any country, or you are listening to us and from, whether it be Mexico, Dominican Republic, or Peru, Brazil, send us an email. Let us know, hey, I'm here. I'm listening to you guys because we need to create a base and things of that nature. The Spanish show it is getting some momentum, but we need to know a better understanding of who's really listening to it, because we're going to start hitting those countries as well.
And if you speak fluent Spanish and English, get with us, because we can utilize your gifts. We're going to need it almost immediately. But go ahead, Gaja. I'm sorry.
Yo, just on the back of that, El Gabar, whilst you're looking at South America, for this new year, so-called new year, my eyes on Africa. So
Africa. We haven't forgot about Africa.
We doing Africa.
We met with the brothers a few months back, okay, and we got to follow up.
We're about to do that.
Yep.
And I'm going into the tribes of Africa, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, the different tribes that were in Africa after the diaspora.
Levi,
I'll be going into that.
Levi. Yeah. Okay.
We got to get to Haiti.
We got to
get to Haiti and the Dominican Republic. We guess what? We're gonna have to get everything we need to get done as far as ministry wise about this year. This is going to be the year. Let me tell you, we're going to do everything we can between now and with a ball drop next year. And who knows how much we're going to be able to do after that, folks. That's how pressing prophecy is right now against the children of Israel. Look for a story almost every other day connected something negative to an Israelite. Look for it. Every crime now, since you saying black people are Israelites, every crime black people do from now on going to be linked to Israelites. That's where they're going, folks. Where regular old random crime is going to be, that's an Israelite.
Yeah, we're gonna be attached to Russia and the
man,
politics.
Yeah,
we were involved with that with Donald Trump, and it was Israel.
Yeah. But it's going to be to the point where who stepped on my corns?
Israelites. There was a tornado. That was the Israelites. Hurricane.
Yeah. Let's go down the line. 501 area code. Okay, let's go down the line.
Make sure you mute your phone, folks.
Please mute your phone. I'm coming down the line now. 501, I'm going to come back to you. This must be a Skype call, an anonymous. After that, 574. You're live with the Gathering of Christ Church. You're live with the Gathering of Christ Church. 2019 recap. 574 area code next.
Hello.
You're live with the Gathering of Christ Church.
You're live.
Shalom, elders. I'm in the Bible Academy, and I'm loving it. And this truth has just changed my life, man. Past 8 months, I've been keeping the feast days, keeping the Sabbath days, and I've been a criminal since I was 10. But this truth has just opened my eyes, and I stopped everything I was doing, all the drugs, all the crime, everything, and turned my life over completely. I've been feeling like I've been being called. Like I used to pick up the word, and I've always believed, but I used to pick up the word, and I felt condemned, like it condemned me. But it was just me not wanting to do what I was being called to do, which was get in the word and follow the Lord. Follow the Most High. And for so long, I started getting the truth in 2016, and I stayed in my path, and I stayed in the way of the world instead of taking myself out and really following what I was learning. I was scared about it, but I found out I was Israel in 2016, and I didn't act on it until 2019.
All praises, brother.
Since I've been acting on it, putting people out of my life. I don't associate with nobody. Even my family think I'm crazy. I got a twin sister that she said she's cursed me out. She's done all these things, and all my family just don't understand it. And I try to tell them, but like I just know that I have to stay on this path to be the light for them. And I actually want to join the church, but right now I'm on house arrest for some stuff that happened last year before
Write down
I
this number.
started acting in this group. And
Maybe the Most High put you on house arrest so you can get this once and for all, and not be subjected to the world. It was a way of saving you, brother. Let me say this. How old are you, brother?
I'm 25.
All praises be to the Most High. 10 years old, a criminal. And it's deep that your family embraced you more so when you were living a life of crime than when you found the truth and began to follow the laws of God. Does that sound?
Yeah, they think they would be happy?
You think they would be happy that you wanted to put down a life of crime and follow the Bible?
So
I'm saying, so something is wrong with our people.
What's wrong with the Sabbath? Is the Sabbath that bad?
I'm saying, here it is. You was a criminal, and you're bringing. You could have lost your life living a life of crime, and you presenting to your family something that have saved you. I don't understand this. I don't understand it. And see,
I don't either.
Man,
I don't either.
Let me get your name again.
My name's Samuel.
Okay, Samuel. All right, brother. Strong name, Samuel.
I'm
Samuel.
Samuel is my username.
Okay, brother. Thank you for the academy. We have your number. We're going to reach out to you. And what state you in again?
Yes, sir. I'm in Indiana.
Indiana, right down Indiana. Okay. We're gonna get someone to visit you, man. It's time for you to stand up, and as soon as that ankle bracelet is gone, the Lord gonna cut you free. Oh, bless you.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Praise the Most High, man. See.
All right, Shalom. Thank you.
Shalom, man. See, that's what I'm talking about. Where's NBC at?
Right.
Where's CBS? Where's CNN? A young man who was living a life of crime have released themselves from the bonds of Satan by following the truth, and now is convicted in his heart and doing what's right according to the Bible, and his own family is now rejecting him. Lord, only the Most High knows. 646 area code.
Hello?
Shalom, you're live with the Gathering of Christ Church.
Hello, you're live.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Shalom.
Sister D from New York. Shalom. Show is on fire. I'm feeling the show.
Praise the Most High. It's
I
lit.
just wanted to say,
I got a new word.
Yes, I just wanted to say that yes. I just wanted to say right now. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Clear, sister.
Oh, okay, thank you. I just wanted to say that right now, I work in healthcare, and the way they ramping up on us with those vaccinations right now, like before, they never used to. We never used to have to wear a sticker for those that we rejected taking the vaccination. But now you have to let them know that a mask is required. You have to wear your sticker on there now. And not only that, you have to sign a waiver saying that you don't want to take the flu shot. So I know that they're watching us that's rejecting it. So, that's what I wanted to say. And just another point, just as y'all were talking about before about them attacking, like, saying the Hebrews doing this, the Hebrews doing that. They just had on the news that 2 women went up to a so-called Jewish man and cursed at him and took his phone. Just as y'all doing the show. So that's what I wanted to say. And Shalom, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, but the Black Hebrew Israelites for that.
Listen, I figured it out. It ain't about Israelites at all.
Exactly.
What they saying now is, since you're saying black people are Israelites, every black person that commit a crime, I'm going to link them to y'all.
Yeah.
That's what it is now. Because I'm following the stories, and I'm going to put this out there for those who didn't know. That first story that they claimed someone came and did something in that kosher market, the FBI already put out a report that they can find no link or no connection at all with those people that did that and Israelites.
Yeah.
The report is out there.
Yeah, and it's funny because they will spend when the first report, the link to Israelites, but then when they find out later on it was nothing, it's a little article in the back of the newspaper.
Yep.
That nobody hears, but all the other what people remember is the
Exactly.
bold letters, Black Hebrew Israelites.
Yep.
Right.
But they don't come back and say we want to apologize to the
Or
Black
let's
Israelites.
correct this story.
We want to correct the story. He had no connection to the Black Hebrew Israelites.
Right.
The FBI
You
made a
never knew
report. They was like, then they'll come back later after you bring it out and say, oh yeah, the report said it. We already cleared that up. But why didn't you make a big stink about it the way you did with the original report?
So then should we then sue?
Well, you
Isn't that
can't.
slander? Isn't that slander?
It's an impossibility because first of all, you can't sue because there's no such thing as a Black Israelite. They came up with a term that was created in their think tanks.
Amen.
There's no such thing as a Black Israelite. People are Israelites according to bloodline. Okay? All right, let's next. 773 area code, then subsequent to that, after that, 832.
All right, that's next. 773 area code and subsequent to that.
If you can mute your radio, brother, mute your radio if you don't mind. You're live.
773 area code.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
Oh, hello, elders. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. We only got a few more minutes.
Okay, shalom. Okay.
Shalom. We break down in 20 minutes.
This is a profound.
Go ahead.
This is a profound subject, and I'm glad that I came across the GOCC. I'm learning a lot for you guys. My job, I do paratransit, and the people I pick up, I always try to teach the word to them through what I learned from you guys like that. I learned a lot.
Praise the
But
Most
I had
High.
a question. Could you break down who Dan is today? Because I never got that with the Lost 12 tribe. I know they got kicked out from the original 12 tribe.
Okay.
I want to know who Dan is.
Okay, that's a good question. When you look inside the Apocrypha, it tells us, it breaks down when you do the research on it, that Dan is linked to the Spartans.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at the people that are in the Greek Isles, I'm talking about the darker Greek island people. I'm not talking about the white Grecians, but the people of color in the Greek Isles. They're Dan.
Yeah, like the Sicilians, some
Some of the Sicilians,
yeah,
the
not both them
Danites.
alone.
No. Vocab is Amalek.
Right.
But yeah. Like the Cypriots. All the people in the Greek Isles are predominantly Dan. When you look in the scriptures, they tell you about Dan. They'll be on the shores, and they was on the shores on the outer skirts after the fall. And believe it or not, it was the Danites who began what we call today the Greek Orthodox Church. But okay,
and they also the gypsies. They also linked
yeah,
up
the
with
gypsies and all that.
Yeah.
Of course, they went off. They started dealing with all types of witchcraft and all that. They almost turned into their own small little Catholic church.
Yeah.
Okay, so believe it or not, I'll be hitting on Dan with my 12 Lost Tribes found breakdown in this academy. I'm going to be doing that, I think, around week 5 or 6. So get in the academy so that you can get those pieces, because that's historical information and data. And if you get in the academy, keep in mind that we'll make sure that you receive. You only missed 2 lessons, right?
Yes.
We only did 2 lessons. So we're in week 3 this Sunday. So if you get in, we'll catch you up. But you don't want to miss what we're coming with, because really, like I said, we're unloading the spiritual clip at this point. Anything I done ordered every book known to man. I'm like, listen, nothing is going to be left. When I'm finished teaching, ain't going to be nothing left for me to teach. All right? All right.
That's what I like.
All right. All right. Thank you for all your support, brother. Shalom.
All right. No.
Someone asked, did Paul ever meet Christ? You have to read the Bible. Christ met Paul on the road to Damascus.
Damascus, yep.
Okay. Look up road of Damascus. Just Google it. Road of Damascus, Paul, Christ. You'll get everything you need right there. Let's go. 832 area code. Shalom.
Shalom, Elder.
Yeah.
My question is, for a person to be resurrected, does it have to be but before they are finished with their 7-day journey.
When you say they're resurrected, what do you mean? The resurrection is upon the arrival of Christ.
When they come back, like say for example, when somebody dies and then they're brought back, you know, they come back to life. Let's say they pass away.
Oh, you talk. Okay. Now that's clear. What? Not resurrection. You're talking about when somebody is pronounced physically dead and they're brought back. Usually, usually they're within that 7-day journey before they've made it over into habitations.
So like as in like with Lazarus, when Christ.
Yeah. Lazarus was within. He was still in that 7-day journey before going over into habitations. And so so I suppose you wasn't in the academy, the last academy where we taught on hell.
I'm in this one, not the one before last.
Well, we're going to drop it again. We're going to drop it again, and I'm going to go through that 7-day journey with you through the precepts. So you'll understand each journey before the spirit actually cross over either into torment or the bosom of Abraham. So I'm going to touch on that again this academy, okay?
Time. Go out of
Ayenda Bar. How old are you?
34.
34. Bless you. I'm just amazed at how the youth, so many of our youth and young brothers and sisters, man, hey, bro. And I got to commend you elders for holding things down, especially for a long time, Gabar. You held down almost the whole United States by yourself.
That's what
I was overseas. That's where those gray hairs come from, huh?
The point person.
He's like, Elder, you got to come get me.
In Canada,
he said, Elder, you have to come back even for a little bit, man. It's just too much weight, but I'm glad I did.
But it's funny now. I'm like,
it won't be too
leaving,
long.
Right?
Hey, now you're saying, where's that bounce at?
Exactly.
Let's do that Babylonian bounce. 678 area code. He got me back so we can get the church together. And then he telling me, Elder, when we rolling? Very soon. Don't worry about it. But we have work to do. 678 area code.
Shalom.
Shalom. How are you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay.
Okay, where's Sister
Really
Shirley?
well. I started following GOCC about 2008, 2009. I was baptized.
I got her next.
In Atlanta. In
Sister Shirley, you
2012.
come next. Don't worry about it. I got you next, Shirley. But go on. I'm listening.
Okay. Well, actually, I need someone to get in touch with me with Atlanta GOCC's information.
Okay,
so
let's
I
do
can
that.
do fellowship with them.
I got you. One moment. We only got 12 minutes, so let me get her number. And you in Atlanta, right? We got you, sister. Let me get your name.
Yeah, we have a beautiful congregation in Atlanta.
A beautiful congregation there.
Farouk.
Yeah,
the
Baruch is the
brother's
man.
there.
Yeah. I can't wait to see him. I go. Oh, you know what? I want to do another Music with a Purpose in Atlanta too, so I'll talk to you about that.
Yeah, we gotta do Atlanta. We gotta do.
Make sure y'all go to royaltymusicbyshepherd.com. Go to gatheringwithchrist.org and you get that album.
Right here, Elder.
Royalty Music. This the shirt. And what do your shirt say?
Let me see here. Can you read it for me?
The life,
It says,
the way, the truth.
I'm the life.
way.
I'm the way, the truth, and the life, and it has what? A heart meter on it. Yeah.
That's Bishop Moff right there. All
wow.
praises.
I am apparel. But go on, sister.
What's your name again, sister?
What's your name?
I'm Sister Tafar.
Tazar?
Tazar, okay.
Tafara, Tiparah.
Okay, sister. We're going to have somebody contact you by tomorrow. How does that sound?
Wonderful.
Okay, get ready. It's going to be a deep year. The water. Okay, we got about 11 minutes. We only have about 11 minutes before it go off. Let me bring in Sister Shirley here. I'm sorry I didn't see her earlier. Where is she?
Scroll down.
All right, where is she?
That's it.
The last call. Yes, Sister Shirley. Yes, Sister
How
Shirley.
are you tonight, elders?
I'm blessed by the best, and his
Can you
name
hear
is
me?
Ahaya. Loud and clear.
All right. All praises. I just got one quick question to ask you, Elder. With what you have said, first of all, you said it years ago, that the face of the terrorists would become us. You said it years ago, and now it's happening. So Hebrew Israelite, it's almost like a stigma at this point.
Yeah.
So my question is, do you think we should call ourselves something else?
Well, number one is we don't call ourselves Hebrew. Number one, we don't call ourselves Hebrew Israelites. I'm an Israelite according to bloodline, okay? But when I meet somebody, I'm not saying I'm a Hebrew Israelite, okay? So the whole thing is, what's more significant, the more significant part of this ministry is the fact that it's the gathering of Christ's church. Okay, we're the body of Christ. Right. That's who we are. It so happened that we're the children of Israel in the body of Christ. But the Gentiles are going to come in and be converted, and they'll be in the body. So the whole thing is, if you use that as your banner first to say I'm an Israelite, and that become the point of your whole ministry, they're going to use that to demonize and take you down. When someone calling themselves this Israelite group and that Israelite group and this Israelite group, Christ didn't have no Israelite group. We were Israelites by nation. So what group can you make a nation? So who we are is a gathering of Christ's church. If someone asks me who I am and what I'm about, I'm going to tell them, well, I'm a pre-Constantine Christian. That's what I am.
I'm a child of Christ, yeah.
They don't even got to hear about Israelites.
Okay.
That's who I am. I'm a pre-Constantine Christian.
All right.
Yeah, and I think if we give it power, and we're afraid, don't give it power. Just calm the person down. Let me explain to you what's going on, and just listen. It's not about being an Israelite, but we're the blood descendant of Israel. But it's about following Christ. Focus on that.
But she has a good question, because the way they're portraying things now, when people ask you if you're an Israelite, they're asking under that level of programming. Oh, there's the guys that blow up stuff or do this, that, and the other. So when someone asks you if you are an Israelite, what you respond back with is, Christ was an Israelite. And that's the Israelite I am. And all that other stuff, I don't know about that. But that Israelite Christ, that's me. I love my neighbor. I treat other people the way I'm supposed to be treated. So you make sure you put that name out there. You put Christ in front of you with all that. Make sure that it's not, because they want to make it about what what happened with your radicalization or where did you find this. No, Christ is that Israelite. Do you know that Christ is that Israelite? I'm a follower of Christ. All right.
Okay.
All right. And again, sister, sister, what I want to say to you, and I'm telling other brothers and sisters in the congregation, is up to you. This is my suggestion, because I got enough that I got to do, to get things prepared all together, than to worry about what people are doing with their own phones and social network. I'm not in people's lives like that. What I would suggest for you, though, is that go through your social network, Facebook and all that, and understand that if these people that you're networking with, whatever online, isn't a real friend that you know, okay? If these people don't friend nobody you don't know personally.
Exactly.
So all these just linking up with people just because they got fringes and they over here and I follow GOCC too and this, that, and the other. Nah, it's like this. If you don't know these people and haven't seen them, you gotta. I suggest you unfriend yourself. Now I never had a Facebook thing or whatever, so I don't know what that is. But all this all this, doing things just to get along because another person realized they Israelite too. That will be they're going to link you to something bad. That's how it works. And I said they're going to use the internet because Facebook is a CIA platform. They would use that as a web to catch people. So I would say go through your social networks and know exactly who you have friended. Okay? Because you could have by default friended one of these proxy false groups that was made up by them. And here it is. Here it is.
Excellent.
And how many people do we really remember that we have friended 2-3 years ago? And come to find out he's some fringe guy from an asylum somewhere that they, some Manchurian candidate they're going to use now. And he's sitting there, eyes bugged out on CNN. And you go 2 years, you go 2 years down on your thread, and he's looking at you, waving. So be careful, all right? Yeah.
All right.
That's how they gonna do it.
I'm glad you went over that, Elder, because there's so many of us that you ask any of us, they always say, yeah, we Hebrew Israelites. People come into my shop and sometimes they ask us who we are, and I have said Hebrew Israelites, but we're saying no, we're just the children of Israel, but to describe it, we are pre-Constantine Christians, but I'm glad you brought that out.
No, hey, sister, you don't even, sister, you don't gotta say, you're not denying anything if you don't say that you're a Hebrew Israelite. You're not denying anything. You know who you are.
Right.
I believe in Christ. They don't have to know your race and what your ethnicity is. That's all that is. Because when the world here is Hebrew Israelite, they're listening to these fake stories out there. That fake news. Okay?
Oh, very true.
But sister, I'm glad you asked that question. Bless you. Because I know that question other people are asking too. How do we operate? Because don't forget, even Peter and them, when they was coming to get Christ, even Christ says, man, you're going to deny me 3 times before the cock crow.
I'll die for you, Christ.
But he had to deny that. Or they would have hung him too. And then what would have been of the ministry? So you got to know the time you're in. When people ask, are you a Hebrew Israelite? They're not asking for an explanation. They're asking, are you a part of those crazy people that the news say is killing people? That's what they're asking you. The Most High says he sent us out as sheep among wolves. Be wise as serpents, harmless as doves. With that concludes our 2019 recap. And elders, deacons, wives, brothers and sisters, those that are in the work, I want to personally thank all those who continually work and bring forth this word and work and pray your force, your life within this ministry. I thank you all. Okay, and this work wouldn't be what it is without all of you out there who've always supported the work. But we have wives, we have deacons, we have elders, we have members, we have brothers and sisters that are holding it down, that are representing right and Christ right, not representing an Israelite, representing Christ right. And we commend you, but there's a long way to go. And this has been our recap. And this Sabbath, what I'm going to go into, we'll talk about the prophecies and what to look forward to now that they're talking war. Because keep in mind, this time of year, when the earth stops, Senate and Congress usually comes out of those meetings with a new bill drafted, with a new law that they did undercover while everyone in the earth was celebrating. That's where my focus is. I want to find out what have they cooked up. And I'm going to be talking about that this Sabbath. Anything you'd like to say before we go, Elder Gadget?
You got 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
No, man. Great broadcast as usual. You know, stay tuned in, stay locked in, stay prayed up. You with me? You know, but just keep a watchful eye for what's coming. I tell you what. Let me read one more precept if you don't mind.
Come on, I don't mind. You know me. I'm down with that word.
Let me get Proverbs the 20th chapter. All right, let me go there.
Yeah.
And I'm in the 4th verse. Check this out, Israel. Proverbs 20:4 says, "The sluggard will not plow by reason of cold. Therefore shall he beg in harvest and have nothing." So right now, we need to be laboring for this harvest coming. You with me?
Yeah.
So you understand me? There's no excuse. It's cold, hot, shine, you know. Whatever it is, we need to just keep our hands to the plow, especially now with what we can see coming across the horizon, because the judgment of the nations is happening, and the Most High is breaking the bonds and the control over the nations. You with me? So Israel, the Bible tells us that while that's happening, Israel is rising and gathering in cities without walls. So understand that we have work to do. You with me? The harvest is plenty and the laborers are few. And with that, blessings and shalom.
Shalom, and thank you, elders. Let's get ready. Let's get it. We're going to teach this truth in the Spirit of Christ, and I hope you all will join us. We are the Gathered of Christ Church. Shalom. Stay prayed up. Sin not. We will soon see Zion.
That's right.
Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom.
Good show today, man. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High. Great show today.
The Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been
Thank you
broken,
for using Blog
and the
Talk
truth
Radio.
is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures and we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited.